Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to a Smart Anything Everywhere DIH ecosystem building event. So this event is held by the Smart for Europe 2 project. This is the CSA supporting the Smart Anything Everywhere initiative on behalf of the EC and the initiative as such, and it is facilitated by our project partner, Budapest University. So they have organized the event. Great thanks to you already for that. And we will now really dive into it. So my name is Maike Reimann. I'm a project manager at Steinbeis in Germany. I'm responsible for ICT, so Information and Communication Technologies and Industry 4.0 projects there. But I'm also the coordinator of the CSA holding the event. So I'm very happy to take you through the very first panel of this event. Smart Anything Everywhere has been holding more of those events already. So there has been one in Baden-Württemberg, there has been one in Milano, this has been held virtually. There will be one in Grenoble. So they are really focused on going into one region and then showcasing what does that region do, what is the policy there, what are the activities there, and how do they connect to the pan-European DIH ecosystem. So it's really connecting the regions to Europe. And this is a showcase event for this. So today's agenda, and I'm just shortly going to give you a glance at that. I hope you can see it now. So today's agenda really includes the first panel, which I'm going to be moderating, which is on the EU policy, but also the regional policy, specifically the implementation of DIH concepts there. This and also how SMEs can benefit from this. This will be followed by a poll panel on innovation support for SMEs and midcaps. So here you will see success stories from not only the Smart Anything Everywhere initiative, but also I4MS initiative, and also from the region as such. And this will be followed by a third panel, and this third panel, there you're really invited to get to know the DIHs. So this time we're focusing on the Central Eastern European region, so we're diving into that. And this is why the event would have been held at Budapest. It's a virtual event again, but nevertheless, you will get to know the ecosystem around that. Now, just for that first panel, that will be the starting panel right now, we're going to have an opening by Hasan Sharaf, who is the Dean of the Budapest University of Technology and Economics. I will give you a little bit on the background of the Smart Anything Everywhere initiative and also the Smart for Europe 2 project. Then we're going to have something on the implementation of the DIH concept in Hungary. We're going to have a bit on the state of play on European Digital Innovation Hubs, but also the European Digital Innovation Hub network connecting to the Smart Anything Everywhere network. We're going to see opportunities for SMEs on Horizon Europe. And then we're also going to have a little questions and answer session. And with this, I'm really happy to have the Dean of the University of the Budapest University of Technology and Economics with us today. And I'm now going to give the word to you to give us the opening speech of this day. So I'm going to stop sharing and going to pass the word to you, Sharaf.
Thank you very much for the introduction. On behalf of Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Informatics at Budapest University of Technology and Economics. Sorry for the long name. From now, as a name of the university, I will use BME. It's shorter and I think easier to say. I would like, on behalf of the university, I would like to welcome everybody to the Digital Innovation Hubs ecosystem building event. This event, as you know, is hosted virtually by our faculty or by our university. So again, thank you for joining us today, and I hope we will have a successful day. A couple of words about our faculty. The Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Informatics at BME, I can say in Europe is one of the leader organization maintaining a strong cooperation with industry, and our focus, of course, electrical, electronic, and informatics, but in the name of the faculty, focusing on digitalization. So we have a wide network of cooperations with industrial partners here in Hungary. And a couple of years ago, we started a systematic building of the ecosystem of the university. We started with a center for university industry cooperation, at the beginning focusing on multinational companies. You know, we have a couple of multinational companies here in Hungary, and we have a good R&D activities with them. But if you look at the register of the companies in Hungary, you can see more than 500,000 SMEs registered in Hungary, and these SMEs don't have big fund in the background to be motivated for R&D activities. That's why we opened a center for SMEs, let's say a gate for SMEs to the university, to motivate them, to show our cases, to show our developments, because we don't work for papers, we don't work for only publication, we work for applications, we work for the economy. And after the multinational and the SMEs, we started a new program. You will hear a couple of words about that program. It's BME Z10. It's an incubator house for startups, for the ideas coming out from research activities from students and professors here in the university. If I know well, our DIH is one of the first officially recognized DIH in Budapest area. And we joined a couple of EU projects with you and with other partners from different European countries. These projects are mainly about how to build a strong network of DIHs here in Europe and to help each other. And 1 + 1 can be more than 2. And that was the idea behind this cooperation between different DIHs in Europe. Now, of course, we have a couple of introductions from different places, including Innomine, who helped us organizing this event. And we will have the introduction of different DIHs around Europe. Here, at the end of my, let's say, welcome speech, I can say a couple of words about the event itself. So through the pandemic reasons, you know, we organize this event virtually, but of course you are welcome here in our university in the peacetime. I hope that we will have that peacetime soon, and we will be able to meet you personally here in Budapest. Let me welcome at this event our distinguished guests, including, I hope I pronounce well, Ms. Anna-Marie Sassen, the Head of Digital Transformation of Industrial Ecosystems Unit, Christina Szentkirai Szász, representing the Digital Success Programming of Hungary, Ms. Maike Reimann from Steinbase 2i, I think it's the right name. I hope Franz wrote this name right to me. The representatives of National Research Development and Innovation Office in Hungary, and of course the regional DIH and companies, and of course all our guests are welcome here in the event. At the end, I wish you a successful event. I hope that you will have a clear picture about our activities and other DIH's activities. And I hope you a good health and a success day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sharaf, for this very inspiring and warm welcome to us. And it's really impressive how you are involving SME in your university life. So I know you're really partner in many of the Digital Innovation Hub projects, and I'm sure you will also be involved in the DIH network in future. But I think this is really impressive seeing how you already go that step towards involving SMEs. So next thing will be me introducing you a little bit to the background of the Smart Anything Everywhere initiative. I'm quite sure that many people do know the initiative already, Nevertheless, for those who don't, I'm going to go a little bit into depth here. So the Smart Anything Everywhere initiative, I'm just going to have a few words on the strategy behind and how this was built. So there is a Digitizing European Industry initiative with the mission to really ensure that any industry in Europe, wherever situated and in any sector, can fully benefit from digital innovations. And this initiative was already there in 2015-16. It was built of 5 pillars, but I'm going to only stress that one on digital innovation hubs. So digital innovation hubs, that name was born at that time. And people for a long time discussed what is a digital innovation hub. And over the time, this picture was created, which I think explains it very well. So digital innovation hub in the center might be a competence center or RTO, to provide test before invest to SMEs, to really test before they are going broader and investing on a larger scale. It's also connecting to the overall ecosystem and networking. It's also linking or having in-house skills and training and support to find further investment. So these are kind of 4 pillars that a digital innovation hub has. And I'm already mentioning the EDIHs, European Digital Innovation Hubs, in the Digital Europe program, which also will be there soon. So the digital innovation hubs are really there to support companies, in particular startups, SMEs, and mid-caps, and the EDIH in future also public organizations in their digital transformation. Now I've picked a picture which Anne-Marie will explain much more in depth than I'm going to do right now. But this digital compass, which was shown at the opening events of Digital Europe and Horizon Europe in the last days, and also there is a document on this. This is very similar to what we always show as a digital innovation hub picture. And this is no coincidence, because we also work on all of these areas, or at least not in the same depth, of course. But I would also say for the business part, which is down here in the south, supporting businesses in their digital transformation, this is at the very heart of those initiatives. We're also trying to link to the skills that are there. Infrastructures, of course, here there are much bigger infrastructures, but we're at least providing access to infrastructures to test before invest. And government, I would say, okay, maybe supporting the public organizations, that's what we're also doing. So we're in a way really very much contributing to this concept of this digital compass here. So this was a look into the future for the new programs. Looking back under Horizon 2020, we had a few initiatives that were really targeting digital transformation of SMEs. And here I'm mentioning specifically the one that are closest to us and also here today. So I4MS was the first one, Innovation for Manufacturing SMEs. Then we have the Smart Anything Everywhere initiative I'm talking about. And as an umbrella CSA, we have the DIH Net, also building this overall network of digital innovation hubs. And at least the 2 first here, they also have innovation actions. And those innovation actions are projects which already gather a lot, like 8, for example, digital innovation hubs, or this can be many more. Building that network, providing expertise and cascade funding through open calls to support SMEs and mid-caps and also startups. So this is what the innovation actions have. They have the money for the cascade funds and can do so-called application experiments with SMEs and mid-caps. Then we have the coordination and support actions of I4MS, Smart Anything Everywhere, but also DIH Net. And they are really there to also support the consolidation of the pan-European network of such DIHs and support the overall ecosystem of all stakeholders there. A bit deeper on this one initiative, Smart Anything Everywhere, you will hear about I4MS later on too. So as said, the main goals to support European startups, mid-caps and SMEs in their digital transformation and build this overall network. And this initiative has already started with calls in 2015. And we are already in phase 3 now. So phase 3, the calls were in 19, the projects all started at the beginning of 2020 and will run for 2, 3, or 4 years. I'm pointing out 2 of them specifically because this is the CSA I will be talking about. And then we have a very special innovation action, which is not focused on a technical theme on a technological theme as such, but rather on the widening aspect, which means they really want to ensure that the coverage of those digital innovation hubs is good all across Europe. And you will also hear about this later on in detail. In Smart Anything Everywhere, we do have some specific themes. The projects are mainly on cyber, physical, and embedded systems. This also can go into the direction of artificial intelligence, autonomy. We have customized low energy computing powering cyber physical systems and the Internet of Things. And we have flexible and wearable electronics and organic large area electronics. These are focused more thematically, and the widening one includes all of those areas. So all of these innovation actions offer funding to SMEs and mid-caps, and you will see that there's still quite some calls open. So if you're an SME, you will see that there's loads of opportunities still in 2021 and beyond. Another glance, this is the picture with the same projects in a way, but linking it a little bit to the themes. So we have the 4 technological themes here. Before we also had smart system integration. And these are the projects present today, but not only the 2 that are present to present the projects as such. We have application experiments. So this is what comes out if such a digital innovation hub works together with an SME or another organization with those cascade funds, and then together they do such an experiment, and the outcome of such an experiment will be showcased to you for 2 examples here. But we also have another example from the sister initiative, I4MS. This is just to show you that only in the Smart Anything Everywhere initiative, and we have more of such initiatives and also the whole catalog and the EDIHs now, but only from this initiative, you already have quite a spread of digital innovation hubs across Europe. So these are really the project partners of these individual projects. And if you wanted to know for the one or the other project, you can then on our website on the innovation portal really click the projects and see which are the projects in the area of one of the innovation actions. Or you can also sort out which are the areas that those hubs are working on. So this might show you which is the hub closest to you, or all the hubs which are in a specific area, for example. So I'm going to share the link later for you to really explore this map for yourself. Then we also promote the funding opportunities of all the innovation actions. So here we have a variety of calls open in 2021. So the closer ones which are already open are in green, and then we have the forthcoming ones, but I only put the ones for 2021 now. But here you can see that there's still quite some opportunities for you. Now I'm always looking at what is the audience of the day, and I must say, looking at the registrations, we have a very big proportion of digital innovation hubs and SMEs. So you're this is nearly 50-50. So this is very good because this is exactly where we want to go to. We want to inform the SMEs on the funding opportunities and other opportunities, but we also want to build a network of DIHs, specifically in such ecosystem building events. So I was quite happy in seeing that so many of you are there, which doesn't mean that this is not interesting for the others. So there's also a few RTOs and there's also a few policymakers, and we have something for everybody in those ecosystem building events. So if you are a startup, SME, or mid-cap or public organization in future, you will be able to access or through the open calls and such events to see something about experimentation facilities to test before invest, knowledge and experience and expertise and training. You will have possibilities to network and to find further funding. So this is really specific to the SMEs and mid-caps who are the main beneficiaries also for the open calls. But for DIHs, I think it's also the networking and ecosystem building is very interesting. Of course, even more interesting if you really meet face-to-face, but nevertheless, you will meet many of the digital innovation hubs today virtually to build the DIH network, and also for policy making. I think linking the European, the national, the regional initiatives and hearing about how this DIH concept is implemented in the different regions is very interesting too. We have more to show, but I think these are the things that maybe for today are the key ones. I'm very shortly going to jump into the CSA. So this is the Smart for Europe 2 CSA I'm coordinating, which is kind of the connecting point for this overall initiative. And here, just a glance at the maybe logos of the partners. So you pronounce it very correctly. It's Steinbeis to I. So then we have Hans Schickard, we have Think, and then we have Budapest University of Technology and Economics right in the center here. We have Blumorfo, CEA, and Fondazione Politecnico di Milano. So this is the partners. Yes, I think I'm just going to show you now that this is what we're doing in the CSA. It's maybe a lot on one picture, but just to say we're kind of providing the enabling services. So this is the innovation portal. We have a marketplace. We have a service center. We're doing events to really share knowledge. We're also wanting to grow the ecosystem. This is something we're doing today. We really want to attract new people. We want to showcase what the regions are doing. So here we really want to collaborate, and we also have activities on sustaining the network. I found this picture in our proposal yesterday, and I thought it was really nice because we also use this compass. We use this compass in another way. We used it really for the ecosystem building events, because what we wanted to do in this project, so it's a 2 years project, and we planned like 4 of those ecosystem building events. We wanted to go north, Baden-Württemberg, south, Lombardia, west, Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes, so this is Grenoble, and east, which would then be central Hungary. And this is where we are today. And it was really like saying, okay, we have a good spread across Europe. We really want to have a look into different regions. And there we really want to see the perspectives from the people, what the concepts are there and how they connect to Europe. And this is, yes, where we are today. And the last picture, because you cannot meet all of us. So this is the consortium of the CSA. And I'm sure many of you know Marta Renz because she's the professor at the university, the Budapest University, and the main organizer of this event today. So thank you very much for this. I have a few links to share. So all the presentations will also be shared. So you will have those links later on. I will also, when not talking, put at least the overall link on the Smart Anything Everywhere Innovation portal in the chat, because there is where you can find the funding opportunities, the success stories of the concluded projects or contact, but also later on the links to the presentations from today. The recording and the presentations will be put there, but there's much more. There's also a marketplace, there is a technology radar. So I think it's really worthwhile exploring this website. And in a minute, I'm going to put that link there too. So this is it from the overall introduction to the initiative. Sorry for those who have heard it a few times already, but I think it was, yes, important to really have everybody on the same page here. And with this, I'm going to stop presenting. And the next presenter could already put up his slides. So this is Christina Sankiraisas. Yes, okay. So I don't see questions in the chat from my presentation now. We do have a Q&A later on anyway, so I can answer questions afterwards too. Otherwise, we would now have your presentation. So Christina is from the Digital Success Program. We don't see your presentation yet. So yes, something is happening there. So she's from the Digital Success Program and will talk about the implementation of Digital Innovation Hub's concept in Hungary. So very welcome, and we see your slides perfectly now. So you could start. Thank you very much. And we can hear you too.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting presentation for us too. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kristina Szentkirály, Senior Consultant, Chief Advisor of the Hungarian Digital Access Program. Unfortunately, Dr. Gál András Levente, the professional leader of the Digital Success Program, is unable to attend today's conference due to his other activities. So I try to replace him today. I will talk briefly about the implementation of the new type of EU EDIH concept in Hungary. The European Commission has launched a new EDIH working plan within the Digital Europe program. One of the most important new approaches of which is the cooperation and joint financing of the member state and the European Commission in the development of the new EDIH system. We believe, together with the Commission, that this approach will ensure the balanced quality, broad partnership, networking, and true embedding of EDIHs in the Hungarian digital ecosystem. Our goal Our goal clearly coincided with the expectations of the Commission. Therefore, for the first time, Hungary also planned to establish 8 EDIHs in 8 regions in Hungary, based on a broad partnership in which all key players in the digital ecosystem are represented. The main goal, going beyond the previous DIH system, was for each EDIH to have a clear 1 or 2 main focuses as defined in the Digital Europe program: AI, cybersecurity, advanced skills, HPC, blockchain, robotics, Industry 4.0, circular economy, etc. And there should also be EDIH specialized in important Hungarian special sectors, for example, agriculture and healthcare. We thought that together, the members of the ecosystem with a given competence would together provide the highest quality services. Compared to the previous DIH concept, building a broad partnership was also extremely important. In addition to high quality professional competencies, for example, in the AI EDIH, from the Artificial Intelligence Coalition, each EDIH will have a partner with extensive experience in reaching the target group, for example, chambers, Hungarian chambers, in the field of marketing and communication, for example, professional ICT organizations, as well as in domestic and international networking, as well as in raising capital and financing.
Sorry, Kristina, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Are you sure that you wanted to show us the what the slide? What we see is showing. No, it was changed now, but I had the feeling that probably your slide stuck in the first or second one.
It doesn't work. You can see the slide now.
I don't know the number. I see lab, hub, competence.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, thanks. And everyone else do see the same. Okay.
Yes.
I hope.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
Because different speeds very.
Sorry?
There are different speeds. Someone was complaining not having seen the advancement of the slides.
Yes. Okay, but now it is perfect. Okay, sorry,
Okay.
Christina, go on.
I still
Okay.
see only the first slide. I don't see it. I don't know how that's possible.
I think it is possible, really different speeds. I have that sometimes too, but I would maybe propose to go on. You might have a little bit of delay, some people, in seeing it, but I think we cannot really help that right now. So the Lab Competence Center and Hubs is on right now for you, Christina, to know. Yeah, now it's the next one. Maybe you just continue, and very sorry for those who can't see it. Maybe we just send that presentation out so you could follow in any other way.
Yes.
Okay.
The advice is to leave and join again, normally. Then it works again for those people who don't see the change slides.
Yeah, that's a possibility. But I think, Christina, maybe you just continue.
Okay, thank you. sorry for the problems. So the call for proposals issued by the Ministry of Innovation and Technology defined the expectations in which the preparation of the widest possible cooperation and the wide regional scope, mostly EDIC applications with a national scope, was expected and supported. As a result, large consortia have been formed with nationwide coverage, most in all regions, but in many cases in all counties in Hungary, with customer points in order to be as close as possible to SMEs and startups and mid-caps and other organizations. The application funds and the call did not allow for the creation of new investments. Therefore, the applicants had to use the existing task possibilities, which are mostly available in Hungary in the higher education competence centers in the focus areas of Digital Europe program, such as the Budapest University of Technology and Economics, where we are now. Meanwhile, the Digital Europe program budget has been reduced, and it has become possible for Hungary to support 3 to 6 new EDIs. Following the evaluation of the submitted applications, the decision committee decided the first 11, the best 11 applications were merged into 3 national EDIs covering all relevant areas of competencies. But the European Commission has proposed now increasing the number of EDIs, which is currently being negotiated. The Commission increasing the number of, the Commission is currently supporting the submission of the proposed 5 EDIs. This is a decision committee managed by the Hungarian Ministry of Innovation and Technology has to approve the new scope of EDIs. After this decision, the nominated Hungarian EDIs will apply in autumn for the Commission tender. We hope that the new EDIs, Hungarian EDIs system, will be successful, participate in a wide-ranging partnership in both the Hungarian and international ecosystems, and make a significant contribution to the digitization of SMEs and the public sector with their service protocol. Thank you for your attention. It was a short summarize of the new Hungarian EDI system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Christina, and congratulations for having such a coordinated approach in Hungary, in fact. So we don't have that in Germany. We're spreading all across the topics, and yeah, I think you have managed that very, very well. So it seems to have been really one approach for all, and you have sorted things out easily and in a very well coordinated manner. So is there any question directly to Christina from the audience now? I don't see them in the chat. If there's no question, I would go on and keep questions for later on, but please don't forget you can ask questions. So you will bear with us anyway, Christina, right? And we will have a Q&A session after all the talks. Thank you very much. Okay, and what I can see from the chat is really that reconnecting helps. So I hope people have reconnected, and especially for you, Anne-Marie, as you're going to share, we can see you. I hope all that works well for you now. So now we will have Anne-Marie Sassen from the European Commission with the network of EDIs or EDIH. I'm going to see how you pronounce it. So there's those two pronunciations. And the Smart Anything Everywhere network. So yes, we can see your presentation very well. Thank you. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Meike. Thank you also, Christina and Sharaf, for all the introductions that you've also given to the Hungarian ecosystem of European digital innovation hubs. I now in my talk want to explain a bit to you how we see the future sustainability of the digital innovation hubs through the network of European digital innovation hubs, and how then activities like the ones of Smart Anything Everywhere will help to build this future network. So now let me see if I can go. I hope you see now my next slide, at least yes. I see it. I first want to explain to you very well that we are changing the way we approach the digital innovation hubs. So in the previous period, what we call the multi-annual financial framework, we had Horizon 2020, and Horizon 2020 was our main tool to implement the digital innovation hub. And Smart Anything Everywhere is also one of the activities that we did in Horizon 2020. And the setup that we had there is that we wanted to support SMEs that want to include digital innovations into their products or into their production processes, to let them experiment with those digital technologies with the help of digital innovation hubs. And how then the things happened is that we selected projects of, let's say, 8 digital innovation hubs working together, and then these digital innovation hubs, they would launch open calls where they would select SMEs who wanted to carry out innovation experiments. And that later today you will see the opportunities that are there for SMEs and then also for digital innovation hubs to support SMEs with innovative digital technologies and include that in their products. So there will be these opportunities in the future. But now we are in a new programming period, and we now have a totally new program, which is called Digital Europe Program. It's focused on selecting on building digital capacities everywhere in Europe, the capacities that we need as a European society to support our digital transformation. And as part of this program, we will select 200 European Digital Innovation Hubs. We introduced a new name, it's European Digital Innovation Hub. And each of these hubs, they will get a grant to strengthen their own capacity. So they can invest this grant into more hardware and software facilities and hiring more people. And then the idea is that with this capacity, they deliver services to SMEs. So they don't need to follow exactly the same processes as in Horizon 2020, because this is a different program. One of the differences is, for instance, also that we are doing this together with the member states. And you've just heard Christina explain what the Hungarian approach will be. And we have a selection process, which is done first by a national authority like Hungary, who pre-selects candidate European Digital Innovation Hubs, and then the European Commission will launch a restricted call to all these pre-selected candidate entities. And if then the project is selected, they can call themselves a European Digital Innovation Hub, and they will be part of the network of the 200 European Digital Innovation Hubs that we want to have everywhere in Europe. So here, the selection process for European Digital Innovation Hub, it has nothing to do with what happened in Horizon 2020. It's a new selection process. It's different. But of course, all the organizations that call themselves a Digital Innovation Hub and that participated in the Horizon 2020 projects, they are in a good starting position because they have experience, they know how to support SMEs. We've heard, for instance, the university, BME, also say how they really focus a lot on industry collaboration and then especially on SMEs. So if having that experience, of course, helps a lot to become a good European Digital Innovation Hub. So also the open calls and all the opportunities that are provided by Smart Anything Everywhere, about which you will hear today, they will really provide an opportunity for candidate European Digital Innovation Hubs, also for other organizations, but to get access to relevant knowledge and experience to become a successful European Digital Innovation Hub. So in Smart Anything Everywhere, Hungary has already been very present, and there are many Hungarian success stories. We will hear later today also 2 of them during the event. They will explain what they've done with the help of Smart Anything Everywhere. But on this slide, you also see 4 other ones. For instance, the project Aerodrums, which was making an air drumming instrument. The project Wear TLS, where wearable sensors and real-time localization system was integrated into, let's say, clothes for Industry 4.0 applications. We had the project OptiLight, where with the help of the project in Smart Anything Everywhere, they developed a real-time automated light type monitoring and to control in horticulture growth of certain crops. And then another one, for instance, was about the project HS-CHAR, which was about a high-speed characterization of mass storage devices. So you see a very wide range of different projects where SMEs were the driver, they had the idea, and they will further develop these systems and try to make them also a commercial success. But with the help of the Digital Innovation Hubs participating in the Smart Anything Everywhere, they got access to knowledge and to technology which they needed to realize their ideas. So we, in the Horizon 2020 projects, there was also a strong participation of Hungarian organizations. 9 different Hungarian organizations participated in 11 different projects in Horizon 2020, and BME and InnoMine, who are organizing today this event, they were present in several of these projects. So they really have a good experience with knowing what these digital innovation hubs should do. But then there was another company, AM Lab, who's also from Hungary. They won the 2020 Digital Innovation Hub Champions Challenge Prize, organized by the DIH Net project, which was mentioned briefly by Meike. And so this challenge, it selected the best digital innovation hub in Europe. And in 2020, AM Lab from Hungary won the prize together with the Basque Digital Innovation Hub. So what I want to say with this is that there's really good experience in Hungary with the topic of supporting SMEs with their digital transformation. So we want to, of course, continue this, and that will be done through then the Digital Europe program. And what is important in the Digital Europe program is that we are trying to combine local added value with European added value. So we want to have a local SME everywhere in Europe. So we want to have built a geographically spread network of 200 European digital innovation hubs, so that there is always one near a company. And these local hub, they will talk the language of the companies. They will speak the same language, but they will also understand the economical context, because they are also located in that region, and they understand the issues. They choose a specialization which is built on local strength. So what good competences are available locally and responding to the local needs. So what is our main industry? What do they need for the next 10 years to go through their digital transformation? And based on that, every hub will make a bottom-up decision on their specialization. So we will then get a variety of specializations among those 200 hubs. And the idea is that the local hub supports local companies whenever it's possible. But if they would have missing competences, which of course is possible if you specialize, they would go look into the network for another suitable hub that could support this company. So this way, every company will really get the best support they can have. A main activity of all these hubs will also be to build ecosystems. They can start building local ecosystems. For instance, if a certain user company has needs, the hub can act as an intermediary and also try to engage a local ICT supplying company, which can be an SME also or a startup, to experiment together with this user company. That will really have an advantage for both, because then also after the end of the experiment, the two companies have built up a relationship and they can in the future still on a commercial basis grow with each other and work with each other and develop the outcome of the experiment further. So we have the local ecosystems, but of course, what is also very important is that we want to build new European ecosystems and value chains that go over Europe. And this can also happen to the network of the hubs, because if, for instance, a local SME would need a product developed by an SME in the ecosystem of another hub, through the hubs, these two companies can also meet each other, and then they can also start working together, like in the same case as the local ecosystem, but now at the European scale. And we really believe that this will bring new European value chains, and that this will also be a way that local competences, which are going very well, can be exported to other regions in Europe. So, and then a third task which this network of digital innovation hub needs to do is that they should also disseminate the capacities that are built up in the Digital Europe program in high performance computing, in artificial intelligence, in cybersecurity and advanced digital skills. They should bring these or make local companies and local public sector organizations aware about these possibilities. And whenever one of them could benefit, for instance, from running simulations on high performance computers, that then they support the companies in having access to these technologies. And that should also ensure that everywhere in Europe, companies will really benefit from all the investments which are done in the Digital Europe program. So I already said we have the two-step selection process. At the moment, 27 countries have pre-selected their candidate European Digital Innovation Hubs. In total, we have 337 candidates pre-selected. We have heard Christina talk about the Hungarian pre-selection, and so first Hungary had pre-selected 3 entities, and now they're moving towards having 5 candidates. So therefore I've said Hungary has pre-selected 3 to 5 candidates. And in total, from this 337, we will select around 200 European Digital Innovation Hubs. And that will be done through a restricted call. And many of you who are part of this, who are part of a candidate European Digital Innovation Hub, you would like to know when the call will be opened. And I can say it will not anymore be July. So the most likely is that it will be in September 2021. And then the call will be open for 3 months. So what you can also see on this slide is the different specializations that these 337 candidate entities have. And what for us at the European Commission is very important, that we see indeed this big variety of different specializations in technologies and also in different sectors. And this really gives us the confidence that we are able to really build this effective network of European Digital Innovation Hubs. We've also put all these candidate entities in a catalog, and if you would like to view them, you can see them in this map. And for the candidate entities who are listening to this, I want to ask if you can update your profile directly in this map, because the more information we have, the better others can discover you and try to set up collaborations with you. But also we in the Commission will also use this to prepare the selection of experts that we want to use for the evaluation of the 337 proposals that we will receive. And now I want to end with the Digital Decade communication, which Meike briefly explained. So this communication, which was recently published by the Commission, it tells us where we want to be in 2030 regarding the digital transformation. And it has used the compass as a metaphor. And there are 4 cardinal points on the compass: skills, infrastructures, business, and government. And for instance, and then it has set targets for where we want to be in 2030. So for the skills, for instance, we want to have 20 million ICT specialists in Europe in 2030. And regarding the basic digital skills, minimum of 80% of the whole population should have these digital skills. So the part which is really important for the network of European Digital Innovation Hub, it's the level of digitalization of businesses. So it's the 3rd point with the red arrow. So there, the European Digital Innovation Hub, the network, will play a very important role to reach these goals. And the goals are that in 2030, 75% of all European companies will be using the cloud, artificial intelligence and big data. That regarding the innovators, that there will be a double amount of EU unicorns than there are at the moment. And then also that more than 90% of all SMEs are using at least a basic amount of digital technology, which then we call a basic level of digital intensity. So these are the goals that we want to meet for 2030. We are far away from these goals, and we will really need a performant network of European Digital Innovation Hub to reach these goals. So the conclusions of my talk is that the Smart Anything Everywhere network can give you the opportunity to improve your offer as a future European Digital Innovation Hub, and also can give you access to a network of other hubs Calls are open now, so please take advantage of that. And then the restricted call for European Digital Innovation Hubs, it will open in September and it will close in December. And as my final slide, I just want to give a list of documentation that we have available. I want to point to the frequently asked questions, which we have recently updated. And also we have organized various webinars on different topics related to the European Digital Innovation Hubs. We will do that again in the future. And if you want to be invited to those events, please subscribe to our newsletter. So thank you very much for your attention, and I give the word back to Meike.
Yes, thank you very much, Anne-Marie. So I really always find your presentations very comprehensive, giving very good guidance to everybody listening to those, and very inspiring. So you knew this question would come, so you put it on your last slide. When will the EDIH call open and close? So we have seen that on the last slide. So most probably September and opening and December closing. Then I have another question in the chat about the future funding for Smart Anything Everywhere in the Horizon Europe program. Maybe you can even extend Smart Anything Everywhere like project in Horizon Europe and the Digital Europe program. So yes.
Yeah, so at the moment there's no continuation foreseen for Smart Anything Everywhere, but there is for I4MS. So today you will also hear about I4MS, which is very similar as Smart Anything Everywhere, but it's really focused on the manufacturing sector, whereas Smart Anything Everywhere is for any sector. But for I4MS, which means ICT Innovation for Manufacturing SMEs, there will be a call in Horizon Europe in Cluster 4 as part of Made in Europe, and it will be the next call. So not this call, but in the next year.
In 2022.
Yeah.
So not in the really Digital Europe program, but this is in the Horizon Europe program, and it's kind of very similar. So this will be continued, but not under the Smart Anything Everywhere label anymore.
Indeed, but it will then again be with open calls, and it will be to support SMEs mainly in this case.
Okay, so then there is another question. There are the DIHs, which are currently there, and there will be the EDIHs, but what would be the role of DIHs, which will not become EDIHs necessarily? How will they connect with the EDIH network?
Yes, if they continue to stay alive and to do their work, then they can connect with the European Digital Innovation Hubs, and also for anything which is organized for the European Digital Innovation Hub, which would not cost, like there would not be an additional cost. They can participate to all the meetings. They can network with other European Digital Innovation Hubs. The only thing that we will not be able to provide funding to these Digital Innovation Hubs. But if other sources of funding, then we would really like to welcome them in the network and try to give as much opportunities as possible.
Thank you very much. Another question is on, do these DIHs provide also non-technical services? Maybe you can say DIHs and EDIHs, like legal advisory, business, financial, consultancy, and other things?
So they should provide innovation advisory services and whatever is needed. They should also provide a seamless service, for instance, with Enterprise Europe Network. So if Enterprise Europe Network is already providing such legal advice, then it would be good to work together with that on and with Enterprise Europe Network and not copy what is already available. So we really want that there would be enough resources also for the technical services, but of course we should not forget that everything is needed to make a successful transformation. And so yeah, that is what I can say about it. You need to see what the needs are, respond to those needs, but also look around what is already available and try to get things which are working well somewhere, make use of those and fill the gaps.
I think also from the picture, the access to further funding is a little bit on that maybe too. So it is a pillar which would of course be good to tackle. Then I have another question, which is some of the success stories managed at BME. They have only one company from Hungary, but then 3 other international ones. Maybe international means European here, but correct me if I'm wrong, because international and European, of course, is a different story, maybe in that ecosystem. If it was European ones, when EU focuses on a more building up national EDIH, how do you see that the international or European cooperation will be kept alive? Do you think that EDIH has the potential danger like to be more internal? Hope you understood the question.
Yeah, I understand the question. So international, it depends on your perspective. When you are a country, you find other countries international. When we talk in Europe, we think about the internal market as one, and international is when we go to the US or India or Japan. But I understand very well the question. So indeed, we have these regional hubs because they speak the language, they are close. So we believe they can reach out to the companies who would not necessarily come on their own to the Digital Innovation Hub, who would not discover the open calls in Horizon Europe by themselves. But the EU added value, so the networking and the international collaboration from the national perspective is of course also very important. And that's why we want every Digital Innovation Hub, every European Digital Innovation Hub, to also collaborate in a network. If they would do just regional work, we would not fund them. They would not get sufficient points to pass the threshold, and they would not get a grant. They have to engage in collaboration with other hubs, so they have to be open to receive companies who would need their expertise from other parts of Europe, and they should send their SMEs whenever it makes sense to other hubs in Europe. The hubs also need to learn from each other, so that will also really help to increase capacity. If you can learn best practice from somebody else, you don't need to reinvent the wheel yourself, and you can much quicker develop a very good service. So the European added value, it remains a very important issue, and the hub, every hub needs to balance these two aspects with each other so that we really get the best possible EU local approach.
Mm-hmm. And maybe if we go beyond Europe, I think this is not that much in scope then, but possible or not, like real international, like with the US or India collaboration is not really foreseen, but
we don't exclude that, but for the moment, our objective is really to build this capacity in Europe. Mm-hmm. We are a capacity building program in Europe, and we now want to make this happen. We want to make this a success so that in 2030 we meet the targets of the Digital Compass. But we're not excluding that somebody who has a very good relationship with India, that they work together, that's fine, but it's not in our, it will not be in our KPIs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So I'm having a very last question for you, and then we would continue. So this is on the digital maturity tool. I think there was a webinar on that too. So is there a unique tool specified by the European Commission to measure digital maturity besides the utilization of cloud AI big data?
Yes, so the increase of digital maturity, it will be one of our KPIs. And in order to measure that, we need a specific tool. And we are aware that already many digital maturity assessment tools exist. And what we will try to do is to make really a smooth collaboration, that we only ask core questions which are needed to measure our KPIs. And it could also be good questions, you know, as a kind of guidance for what type of digital transformation a company needs. But there is certainly room for other questions which are then part of the mostly used digital maturity assessment tool. So we are really trying to here also make a good collaboration, that it will not be a burden and an overhead, and that you have to go through loads and loads of questions. And in September, we will have an update. So at the moment, we don't have it yet. What it is exactly, we are still working on that. But it's planned that in September, we will have an update on that.
Very good. So when the call opens, there will be more information on that. Maybe there is another question, but I think you have at least partly answered that one already. So regarding the future role of DIHs, will there be concrete incentives to EDIH to collaborate with existing DIHs? And or such existing and successful structures, may they be utilized?
Well, of course, we hope that we have provided information to all the countries about projects that have been working in digital innovation hubs. We have shown them what are the self-declared digital innovation hubs in the catalog. Every country has organized transparent and open processes to select their hubs. So this will be the outcome, and I am confident that many of those are including the DIHs. Maybe some are not, but many are. And in the future, every digital innovation hub needs to look what is available, what is working well, and collaborate with that. So the incentives are certainly there, even though they might be implicit. But we foresee that it's possible to collaborate with DIHs, and every hub should really try to give the best possible services, making use of what is available. So that are the two incentives that we have.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anne-Marie. I knew you would have some questions. Okay, then thanks a lot. I would now move to the next presentation. So the next presenter could already share. So this is Agnieszka Divini. And here we will hear about the Horizon Europe opportunities for SMEs. So she will show us more about other opportunities of the programs that are there on different levels. So we can see the presentation already, not yet in presentation mode though. So
maybe
there
now.
are, yes, so there are besides, yes, now it's presentation mode, perfect. So besides these cascade funding opportunities, which will also be mentioned, there's also other opportunities for SMEs. So those who are here today, listen closely what the programs have for you. So giving the word to you, Agnieszka.
Thank you. I will talk about Horizon Europe program and what kind of opportunities it offers for SMEs. I'm from the National Research Development and Innovation Office of Hungary. Just a couple of words about our office. We are a funding agency. We have a big national fund and provide research innovation grants to universities, research labs, and companies as well. We have many different open calls, even no open. And what is important concerning this presentation, that we are in managing the Horizon Europe National Contact Point. It's a Europe-wide network, so every SMEs in Europe can contact its own national NCP, which helps them to be informed about Horizon Europe funding opportunities, so they can contact to their local national contact point. What is Horizon Europe? The European Union is providing funding for different areas, not just Digital Europe, but Horizon Europe as well. There is a so-called funding and tenders opportunities portal where applicants can find all the funding and programs. One of it is Horizon Europe. It's a three-pillar program. The pillar 2 includes the cluster 4, which is digital industry and space. So those companies who are interested in digital innovation hubs can find opportunities in this cluster. And then there are pillar 3, which is dedicated mostly for SMEs. The European Innovation Council is providing help for groundbreaking innovation of SMEs. Horizon Europe is a research and innovation framework program of the European Union. It provides direct European Union funding for organizations which are doing international level research and innovation programs. It's usually in international consortia of at least 3 partners from 3 different countries, so international networking is compulsory, and only at least 1 company should come from the EU country, so it will be real international as well, because there are associated countries to the Horizon Europe, which are not just EU member states. Funding rate for companies, it's quite good. For research and innovation actions, is 100%, and for innovation actions is 70%, which is much better than at national level. You know, at national level, the state aid rules allow less funding rate for companies. The Horizon Europe is it's good because you can apply online. The electronic project proposal preparation is online, the submission is online, and contracting and reporting can be done online. So it's easy to manage for a company. In Horizon Europe, there are thematic calls, as I mentioned, research and innovation calls and innovation actions, where the companies can be consortium members. There are CSAs, this kind of networking projects like this one, which organized this event, where also the Hungarian SMEs, Hungarian or any other SMEs can be consortium members. There are cascading grants. It was mentioned before, when a winning project provides funding for other SMEs and other institutions, for example, for ecosystem building, testing, validation, introduction of innovative technologies, or helping access to finance. There are calls within Horizon Europe for single applicants. This is, for example, EIC Accelerator. I will talk about it a bit later. And there are thematic partnerships where SMEs can be consortium members as well. And the Horizon Europe finances the European Institute of Technologies, and then the knowledge and innovation communities, which provides also help for SMEs for digitalization in the framework of AIT Digital and AIT Manufacturing. As far as I mentioned that there are lots of money provided through European partnerships. During the European partnerships under Cluster 4, which is digital industry and space, there are key digital technologies, smart networks and services, high performance computing, metrology, AI, data robotics, photonics, made in Europe, which all relates to the activity of the digital innovation hubs. These can be good possibilities for those companies who are helped by the hubs to be a consortium members in a larger European programs funded by the European Commission through this Horizon Europe program. In this cluster 4, there are work programs published on the funding and tenders portal for this year and next year. So the potential applicants can read all the topics which will be funded. And I just listed some of them who reads the presentation. I don't want to read up during this presentation, but you can read it later. And this finance special topics and calls, and then cluster for finance partnerships. as well. As I mentioned, the AI, data robotics, made in Europe, process for planet, clean steel, photonics partnerships, where also new calls can be read. And I would like to talk more about key digital technologies partnerships. It's because it also relates to these digital innovation hubs, and partly because the host organizer, the Budapest University of Technology, are successful in this program. It also supports digital transformation of all the sectors through electronic and photonic components and software, which relates to these components. It's partnerships managed by a joint undertaking. Members of the partnership is the European Commission. It provides EU funding for applicants from Horizon Europe budget, and there are participating states who provide funding for applicants from the national budget. So it's composed of two sources. And from professional sides, there are industry associations, also members of this joint undertaking. ENAS is micro and nanoelectronics, Artemisia is cyber physical systems, embedded systems, IoT, digital platforms, and EPOS is smart system integration. These are also relevant topics for this audience. And I would offer the membership to be a member of this kind of industrial associations, which defines the strategical directions of the program. And if the SME or other institution became member of these kind of associations, they can have a network and they can have a say in the implementation of the program. The key DT partnerships will publish yearly calls, research and innovation action, and innovation actions as well. There are large consortia, so really have a chance to be a member. And then they help applicants with events, with FX. It's a big industry event for everyone. And there are special brokerage events related to the actual calls. I mentioned that there are calls for individual SMEs who doesn't have a real network, international network, but would have a cutting edge innovation, which they want to implement and they want to commercialize. For them, the accelerator program of the European Innovation Council would be an ideal option. They can get 2 and 5 million euro grant, or for the commercializations up to 15 million euro investment. The competition is very hard, but they are open for every topics. And beside the open topics, there are challenges. Which one challenge is digital and health technologies in Green Deal innovations. The application process consists of 3 parts. There is a short proposal, so the SMEs don't have to make big efforts to present their ideas. They can answer some key questions, and then the basics are evaluated by the European Commission. And if their idea or the development is so good, they can make the full proposal. For the preparation of the full proposal, they will get coaching from the European Commission. And then after the submission of the full proposal, the best companies can be invited for an interview where through the interview they can be selected. The next submission deadline for the full proposal is 6th of October. So it is time to start the preparation of the proposal if someone is interested in, who has innovative ideas, but these are not so groundbreaking, and they have international partner, at least one other partner from another country. who is member of the Eureka Eurostars network. They can have also funding, lower funding, but it's still a grant. It's a bottom-up program, so any kind of innovation can be presented or proposal can be made. And there are 2 cutoffs per year. There are international evaluation of the proposals, and since some part of the amount came from the European Commission, another part of the grant comes from the participating states. So the participating states will make the contract with the SMEs and can keep contact with the SMEs. So it can be easier for the SMEs that they can discuss any issues with the local authority who provides the funding. The launch of the call will be in August with the international deadline for 7th of October. And for Eurostars also there are national contact points in every country, so the SME can contact them for more information. In case the Hungarian SMEs are interested, they can read the homepage of our office and then find the relevant colleagues who can help in the preparation of the proposals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Agnes. So I think this was also a very comprehensive overview, and it's really good to have such agencies in your country who take so good care of the SMEs and provide them with such information too. So I think, yes, you gave a very nice overview of what is there and that there are really instruments you can interact with very large ecosystems, which is like the KDT, the former Excel one. You really will, as an SME, enter into an ecosystem where you will maybe already meet within the project your future suppliers or customers. So these are really huge projects sometimes. Then we have the Horizon Europe Cluster 4 ones, also collaborative ones. Then we have those accelerator ones where you can even apply as a single SME. So this is a different story then, and you would also have to decide on how collaborative you want to be. And then again, promoting our own open calls. This is maybe the lightest way for an SME to enter all that European projects thing, because there you don't even contract with the EC directly. You will have a much lighter contract and less administrative burden. This is also the next presentations. In the next panel, you will hear from the BOE and from I4MS again about those cascade funding instruments. So right now, I don't see any questions in the chat. If anybody still wants to pose a question, this would still be possible. Otherwise, I think we take the little well-deserved break and would then, well, I don't know. I think the break will be in a way during the session, right? We would, because it's 10:50 now already, I think directly restart. So I will hand over to Gabor then from Innomine, who will chair this next panel. Thank you very much from my side.
And Maika, sorry, I would suggest to have a few minutes break.
Yes. So sorry for having been a little bit longer, but I wanted really to take all the questions for Anne-Marie. Okay, yes. So when would we reconvene then? At 11?
At 11, yes.
Okay,
this is 5 minutes.
Yes,
So
okay.
Is it okay by you, Gabor?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm here and I'm ready. Let's do a few minutes break and then let's jump into the next session.
Okay, thank you very much. See you.
The Smart Anything Everywhere initiative supports SMEs in their digital transformation all across Europe. Over the past 5 years, innovation actions under Smart Anything Everywhere have provided direct funding and support to help startups, SMEs, and mid-caps in their journey towards the next digital innovation. SAE focuses on a variety of technological focus areas, namely customized low-energy computing, cyber-physical systems, and flexible and wearable electronics. Through boosting these types of technologies, we have helped foster more digital transition and innovation across Europe. Success stories of new technologies supported through SAE can be seen in a number of application areas like mobility, agriculture, and food and beverage. Our new digital age demands we work in collaboration, not silos. SAE efforts have made an impact in creating a more digitalized Europe. Innovation actions of Smart Anything Everywhere have fostered collaboration across European borders, ensuring access of digitalization services via digital innovation hubs. We're stronger together. Open calls for funding are still available. To get involved, visit us at one of our upcoming events or visit www.smartanythingeverywhere.eu. Smart Anything Everywhere. Let's shape Europe's digital future together.
Okay.
Hello, good morning everyone, and welcome back to the second session of today's event. My name is Gábor Vice. I'm the CEO of Innomind Digital Innovation Hub, and I will lead this session. In the first session, we could listen to the more strategic European issues and learn about the European EDIH initiative. During this panel discussion, we will have the opportunity to more into details, and also in that sense we will go let's say top-down kind of approach. So first we will listen to two European initiatives, and afterwards we will go and present a startup hub in Hungary and two DIHs, and then we will present or we will listen three success stories from the field. So I think within this session we will try to combine also the high-level strategic information with the really field information and practical aspects. Now we do have time approx until 12, and we do have 8 presentations. In the currently the timeline is a bit mixed. Our idea is that each of the speakers will have 5 to 6 minutes time to present and to talk, and then after the session we can address questions. So with this, I would like to give the floor to Sander van der Molen from the BOVI consortium to explain the BOVI initiative. Sander, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Let's start sharing my screen. So instead of 10 minutes, I only have 5 or 6 minutes. That's a nice constraint. Let's start going. BOVI project. It's about boosting digital innovation and widening Europe. So the aim is helping actually to address the big gap we have, the digital divide between, I would say, the advanced high-scoring economies on the digital economy and society index, the DAISY index, and the countries that are not scoring yet as high as we want. So we have the digital divide, and our project aims at this region, the widening region. So in dark blue, you see the EU member states, the light blue, the accession countries, and altogether they are focused under what is called the spreading excellence and widening participation. So how can this part of what I call emerging Europe be part of the Digital Europe program? So our project actually aims to build corridors between different regions. So regions could collaborate and benefit from each other. And we are focusing on building corridors between a digital mature region and a region from the widening emerging Europe, where digital innovation hubs and each site, it could be on the mature ecosystem or on the widening part, are key in fostering this collaboration, the interregional collaboration on all digital technologies. It could be smart anything everywhere or even I4MS. We are agnostic on the type of technologies. So the challenge is how to build this collaboration. It has been tried a lot of times, collaboration, networks, projects, associations, memberships, how to collaborate, why it actually costs a lot of time and effort, and what are the benefits. We think that instead of collaborating with all of Europe, regions have to find complementary regions with complementary skills, technologies where they can collaborate and actually more intensive build a number of projects and collaborations. So this is what we want to aim. How do we do it practically? We try to match a mature digital innovation hub and what we call a proto hub or a developing digital innovation hub, together with funding for open calls with SMEs or mid-caps. They can do the experiment, and mature and what we call proto hubs work together in establishing this interregional collaboration. So the funding for us is not so much for the SMEs to do their experiment. It's actually the experiment of collaboration between two digital innovation hubs. How can they find the complementarities and work together? We also try to assist this collaboration by developing tools that can be used. First tool we developed is actual reference architecture for interregional collaboration. That's a lot of words for actually a very practical tool to take a look. How do you build those corridors? What do you need to take into account? So here you can see governance, finance, the missions, participation, culture, different aspects where you can try to address to build your collaboration. And secondly, yesterday on a DNet Bowie joint webinar for 650 people, we presented the DIH heat maps, where you can actually try to profile your own digital innovation hub and compare with other digital innovation hubs. What are your key strengths, focus areas? What are the things where you could collaborate? Where do you search certain technologies or capabilities, which we think can help in the collaboration? Some news, we had an open call for developing digital innovation hubs, and we have here several winners from the widening region. So congratulations to those digital innovation hubs and welcome to the Bowie network. Well done achievements. This means we are expanding our Bowie network to have more digital innovation hubs that will try to help how to work together, how to become more mature, how to provide more services, and how to do interregional collaboration with the more mature regions in Europe to help bring the access to facilities, infrastructure, skills, knowledge, technologies from all over Europe also to the widening regions. What will it mean? We'll have a future open call for experiments for SMEs in the not two regions that those announced digital innovation hubs are located. So more SMEs will support and more collaboration. So it's not just SMEs that get support for funding, but working together with those local digital innovation hubs and mature digital innovation hubs. It will be the collaboration for interregional collaboration on uptake of digital technologies. So this is something to really stay tuned. You can join our community or get access to your local digital innovation hub here. Those digital innovation hubs will try to promote those open calls in the future. And for mature digital innovation hubs, that's not only for Western Northern Europe. This is any mature digital innovation hub, also in the widening region. that has certain maturity, means they're established, they have practiced and found their business model, they have core capabilities, they have something to offer. All mature digital innovation hubs can apply for a currently open call because, well, in our experiments, we need both developing digital innovation hubs and mature digital innovation hubs to create this collaboration. So please register yourself to apply, and you can be part not only for getting funding, it's actually for finding ways how you can make your expertise available at European level, not only at regional level. So we think this is a very interesting project for mature digital innovation hubs, for developing digital innovation hubs, and it's actually an experiment. How can we actually implement and do digitalization also in the widening Europe, where it's a different circumstance, a different region compared to the mature part of Europe. So we'll try to experiment to create this real digital European single market by collaboration at the interregional level. I want to keep it short, so thank you very much for your attention. Here's the slides with the current project partners, and we are open for questions later on to Q&A session.
Thank you, Sander, for this great introduction, and we look forward to learn more about the open calls and to promote it also in Hungary and in the surrounding countries. I think, if any of you has any questions, please feel free to raise in the chat. We will have a dedicated Q&A session, but also in the meantime, if you have questions, feel free to type into the chat. And with this, I would like to move on to our next speaker, Begoña Sánchez-González from the I4MS initiative, to talk about the digitization of the European manufacturing industry.
So, hello everyone, good morning. Thank you, Gabor, nice to see you. Thank you all for inviting us to share I4MS with all of you. Okay, I have quite a number of slides, but we are happy to share them with you, so I will try to be very short in these 6-7 minutes. Let's see. So as I was saying, my name is Begoña Sánchez. In between, I get the slides, and I'm coming from Tecnalia, which is a research and technology organization in the north of Spain, for those who don't know us. Gabor, can you see my presentation? Can you see my slides?
Yes, I
to
can
make
see.
them bigger now.
Now it's perfect. Now it's perfect.
Okay.
Now it's in presenter mode.
Okay, so I go. Okay, so for those who are not so familiar with I4MS, I4MS is the initiative for supporting SMEs, but especially manufacturing SMEs. I mean, as you know, 99% of European business are SMEs, and then from all those, we have over 2 million which are dealing with manufacturing. So manufacturing is really very important. So, the project is focusing really on that, although there are also some activities. Here you have some numbers on where we stand for it. And then let's say I said that we focus on manufacturing SMEs, but we support digitalization of these companies within I4MS. So I4MS initiative is not new at all. As you see, the first phase was starting already in 2013. And now we are working on the fourth phase. And then, as you see, the main scope, of this fourth phase is consolidating the collaboration in the pan-European network of digital innovation hubs. Then I4MS is the initiative, to foster digital innovation of manufacturing SMEs and boost their competitiveness. So, here you have a bit more of our goals and the activities in which we are working, but I will go to the next slide. I think is more practical to see it. So you see, main stakeholders, if I can use this word, are of I4MS, or main key players are, as you see, the innovation actions, the digital innovation hubs and also the candidates, European innovation hubs, will be part of our ecosystem. Other intermediate bodies, obviously manufacturing SMEs and technological suppliers. And then all started in I4MS by, I'm trying to put all the gaps together. We identify challenges, we like more challenges than gaps, from the beginning, and then we are working on these challenges, trying to solve them and to give insights on for companies, especially in order to be better prepared. So we identify somehow the penetration gap, I mean, underrepresented regions and sectors. We saw that some regions are performing better than others, and we want to understand better why this is happening. We also found out that there is a lack of awareness on the importance of digital transformation, that we also have skill mismatches. And then, I mean, also we have a lack of support to reach market and appropriate funding, especially for SMEs. Also the lack, I mean, the collaboration, which is not always enough. And then obviously, I mean, this year we found also that we need to adapt to a new situation, that everything is more digital than before, and this is especially more challenging for companies. So we conducted a working group, an I4MS talk last Tuesday, where we already started to work on these gaps, and we will be ready to propose a paper. I mean, and then I invite you all to reach our community, where we all disseminate all our results. These are the innovation actions, I mean, that are part of our project in this phase. You see here, I mean, the technologies that these innovation actions are working for. We have, let's say, grouped them like for technologies. And then I won't go in all details, as I said, sorry for this, because we don't have time in 6 minutes, but you have all the information here. And then how can you all participate and be part of our I4MS community? First of all, as I said, I4MS community is where we have all the stakeholders and all friends that work together. I mean, not only working together, but also disseminating, I mean, information which is really strategic and relevant for all the community. So we invite you to register in the community, and then you will be part of all this and all our I4MS activities. We also are looking for ambassadors. Ambassadors are, you know, experts that are supporting us in the project, and then I mean, you will see, you can be part of this program also. You can become ambassador for I4MS. And then I also invite you to check in the community where you get all the information. Also, you have here the link for more specific information. And we also have the working groups. I mean, the working groups in I4MS are especially relevant because for us, these working groups are where we get the information to improve the project. I mean, to give also especially policy recommendations for the Commission, for other regional and national government, but it's a bottom-up initiative. I mean, the people participating in the working groups are our advisory bodies, our think tank, in order to propose, you know, better things, to identify inspiring stories that we always publish at the community. And you know that the I4MS community is already very big. We have more than 1,500 members. So, you know, I mean, the dissemination is quite important also. So initially we have 2 working groups. One is devoted to best practices and supporting mechanism on digital transformation, and the other one is on upskilling challenges, more on skills, right? So we also have a network of I4MS contact points. Also, you can also be part of I4MS network. I mean, you can be a contact point. You have 2 different types. I mean, but this is up to you to select how is better for you to cooperate. And these are the organizations in each region that give us, capillarity, that give us accessibility to locally. So these are really, part of our activities. So we have a lot of events. This is our next event, which is tomorrow. Dealing with Better Factory. We also wanted to share this with you. And I have prepared, briefly some opportunities for SMEs, but as I said, I won't go in the detail. You have here the innovation actions. Some of them were already said, like the previous speaker. So, here you have the timelines also for the open calls in which you can, participate. All the companies can participate. Here you have a bit more in detail, what we are looking for in each of the innovation actions. And then, the opportunities for SME, the funding, the projects that will be funded, and when the open calls will be open and closed, and so on. Here a bit more of these open calls. And here is a summary of what we offer in the open calls for companies. And this is about it. It was very quick, but we are very happy to answer if you have questions. If not now, because there is not enough time, afterwards, please contact us. We are very happy to support. Thank you so much, Gabor. And this was it. I know that quick, but hope that I managed to pass the message.
Thank you, Begoña. Thank you for this great presentation, for lots of information. We will share your slides as well. Thank you. I encourage the audience to ask questions in the chat if there are any. And now I suggest to move on to our next speaker, who is Zsolt from the University of Technology of Budapest, to talk about the startup initiative, about the Startup Hub. Zsolt, can you take over?
Yeah, I'm here, but something's going on in the screen at the moment.
Feel free to take. I think that it's just Begoña have not disabled the sharing, and if you click on sharing, you can start sharing your screen.
Yep.
Please try to keep the 5-6 minutes because we do have a bit of a delay already.
Yeah, give me a second. It's a bit slow, but it's happening. In the meantime, I want to share my window here. Okay.
Okay, we can see it now, although not in presenter mode, but we can see
it. It should be happening. It does take its sweet time, does it? Okay. Thank you for having me.
Perfect.
My name is Zsolt, and I head up the Z10 incubator at Budapest University of Technology. The name comes from the fact that the building is called Z. We have a nomenclature for our buildings at the university, and ours happens to be Z. And we're sitting on the 10th floor of the building, the top floor, which offers a great view for our startups, a very inspirational atmosphere, looking over the rooftops. We've got a 180-degree, really, really unique view of the city of Budapest. The incubator was set up about a year ago, and we've modeled our operations and our methodologies after Imperial College London's incubator. The simple reason is that I've worked there for 6 years prior to joining, and I know that that one works, so I try to emulate and adapt those methodologies and training to startups in Hungary. So far, it seems to be working quite well. We've established partnerships with the larger VCs in Hungary, and they're very cooperative and helpful. We've also established partnership, or the university has a number of very valuable partnerships with larger corporations, international companies as well, and we're we're growing startups from idea stage, really early stage, to the moment when they're acquired by companies, or when they exit in another way, and that's basically what we do. Since, as I said, we only started a year ago. We don't have any of those yet, but we've already got quite significant number of startups with a solid amount of funding from VCs. We have about 15 companies now in the incubator in spite of COVID. So we are at 80% saturation about a year and a half after we launched. And all but one of the startups that we have helped create, launch, are still alive. And they've steadily gone on from pre-seed to seed funding rounds. Some of them have closed deals for over 2 million euros. But there are only 2 of those. The way we intake startups is through our acceleration program, which we run twice a year. And this is a 5-week intensive fun startup program, which really goes from building teams all the way to helping them perfect their pitch. And at the end, they pitch it in front of investors, and that's when they get information immediately, direct feedback from the investors, whether they've liked it or not. I know that I'm limited in time, so I did not want to put up too much information on our slides. This is just really our ideals and the way we work. We are open to all kinds of not just digital, but anything from energy, everything basically that the university does, and that's quite a broad set of areas, including social sciences, economics, and deep tech. Most of our companies, however, are deep tech. You can visit our website. At the moment, it's only in Hungarian, but we have companies that range from micromobility to water quality monitoring and drones that are used inside storage rooms or warehouses to monitor stocks. So we do all kinds of startups, and we're not limiting to our intake to certain industries. As I said, what's very important for us is the linkage to businesses and industry, because they're the ones who pull innovation. And we would like to step into that area much more pronouncedly now that we know that we've got a good setup and we've got a robust methodology to develop startups that are able to cater for the needs of industry. And I've been very happy to listen to the initiatives and the programs that are run under this initiative, because they seem to be very helpful in the near future. Not directly for us, but for our startups. Okay. One more thing about our operations, we are not for profit, so this is not, we don't take an equity at the moment from startups. We only charge a small fee for them being within the incubator, which is in terms of space quite big. It's about 1,000 square meters, and we also have a fab lab where students and startups can work with everything from a hammer to 3D printers to develop their prototypes. And we're planning to grow. We're planning to grow into a new building that has just been approved for planning, and we're hoping that in 3, maybe 4 years, that building will be realized, and then these startups can grow into their new home. These and other new startups. Thank you for your attention. I'll be very happy to address any questions later.
Thank you, George. Thank you for this great summary. And I again encourage everyone to ask questions in the chat. And as the next speaker, I will talk about Innomine Digital Innovation Hub. And I'm going to share my screen right now. So now I've shared my screen. Please confirm that you can see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So as I started my introduction, after the 2 European examples and after the Startup Hub, I will try to outline you what Digital Innovation Hub means on the field. And Innomind Digital Innovation Hub has 2 locations, one in Budapest and one in Pécs in southern Hungary, near to the Croatian border. We are focusing on digital innovation and on smart manufacturing. And on this slide, it's 200 SMEs, but in the reality, we rather work with 400-500 SMEs in multiple EU regions. We are part of the Industry 4.0 platform of Hungary and many European initiatives, including the Smart Factories program earlier. So in our history as a digital innovation hub, we started in 2006 to draft our strategy, and in 2017 we started with the Cloud Factoring project, where we acted as a digital innovation hub. In 2018 we have received mentoring from the European Commission in the framework of the Smart Factories program to build our digital innovation hub portfolio. And as a result of that, we were able to get involved in further EU program in DIH for CPS and later on in DigitBrain. And currently we are part of one of the EDIH proposals. So how do we serve SMEs? I think that the most relevant point is that SMEs are really heterogeneous, and there are huge differences. And just to prove that, just one recent statistic about the use of artificial intelligence, which is a key technology currently, and there are huge differences, 5, 6, 7 times more in one country than in the other. And then we are still talking about country level differences. Even between the countries and the regions, there are huge differences. So what do we do and how we serve SMEs? So we always look what the SMEs really need. The SMEs expect that Digital Innovation Hub should be familiar with their operation, language, and not only the language itself, if it's Hungarian, English, or whatever other language, but the language that the specific SME uses and what challenges they face. And the SMEs expect very quick and very customized solution and fast implementation. Whenever we talk about EU programs and research and innovation, usually we start to talk about time horizons of years or many 24 months, 36 months, and even beyond. So the concept that we use is research on demand, because the SMEs rather need specific solutions, and so not generic results. None of the SMEs are interested to learn about the latest state-of-the-art research, but they are interested to learn about solutions that could fix their issues. And there is a huge background noise from someone. I try to. Okay. So, and what we believe is very important as a DIH, that we try to understand and the local SMEs. And once we understand, we try to connect them with European networks. And here are some of the examples how our European network was growing since 2017 from the Cloud Factoring project. That was the initial network, and then we grew through the cascade funding mechanism with different experiments, and then again with the next wave we extended this network, and then with the other project we again improved the network. So whenever we we work on a European project. The key challenge at the end of the project is how to exploit the project results and how to make the benefits sustainable. And for that, I would like to present just one solution that we are currently developing in the framework of the Cloudy Factoring project. And in that, we are developing a digital workspace for manufacturing engineering. Why do we do that? We do that because whenever we run an experiment, this experiment ends and the end user will benefit from the solution, but we would like to make more and create more sustainable operations out of those solutions. And whenever we think about sustainability and scalability, then digital always comes first. So this is why we, within the framework of the Cloudy Factoring project with multiple partners, created the concept of the MGORA, which is the digital workspace for manufacturing engineering. And this workspace is a kind of a market where you can find the best solutions and the expertise for the digitization of manufacturing companies. We are focused on specific technologies, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and optimization tools. And with that, we collect all the European expertise and the solutions and provide access to those software and those on-demand solutions. This workspace will be launched publicly very soon. Actually, this is in 31 days, so and the first days of August. And then we would like to encourage you to collaborate with us also through the marketplace, or obviously through other channels of us. Here are my contact details, and I'm very happy and open to talk about any further digitization issues. So with this, I will stop my presentation and sharing my screen, and would like to give the floor to Richard from DSS Consulting, who will explain a specific solution at a specific manufacturing company, and will guide us how this whole concept works in reality through a specific project example. Richard, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Gabor. Thank you for having me here. Let me share my presentation. Can you see it in presentation mode?
No, not really. We see your screen, and yes.
Okay, now?
It is perfect now.
Okay, thank you very much. So, hi everyone, my name is Rihard Milanovic, working as a project manager at DSS Consulting. In the next few minutes, I would like to give you a brief overview of how does a particular experiment look like from the viewpoint of an SME, especially from an independent software vendor like DSS. We are participating in the DIH for CPS project as one of the experiments as an ISV, along with Innomine as a supporting DIH, as Gabor has just made the introduction in the prior presentation, and also along with Forest 2000 Limited as an end user, mainly working in the metal production industry with about 100 high-value machines and circa the same amount of employees. DSS Consulting has been founded more than 20 years ago, has around 100 employees as well, and it's owned by private persons, and specializes in custom software development and business intelligence solutions for the export and the import market, also within the borders of Europe and above that. The main objective of the project is to help the end user in gaining more efficiency in its production process flow. For the same, we have designed and implemented a software solution which can optimize the resources by scheduling the incoming production orders into the appropriate sequence to fulfill deadlines. This action is done by the help of a linear programming solver algorithm, which can take into account the different types of machines with the different unit and cycle times. Also, it can mind the production steps and special tool bottlenecks if they exist. The solution is integrated with the company's ERP system and also will be integrated with the MIS system to fully align with the factory software toolchain. With the help of the innovative and intuitive user interface, the operator can make decisions upon the evidence data coming from the shop floor and from the source systems. If there are unplanned events during the daily operation, the production plan can be easily adapted to the current situation with the help of this software. Actually, according to the market analysis we have made in the beginning of the project, the software can fulfill, so to say, general need from the middle-sized manufacturing companies, lots of them suffering in the same situation, to give an easily overviewable production process by different stakeholders from the company. And let me share some details about the cooperation within the experiment. During the whole time, we are in good hands, so to say, in a nutshell. We are surrounded by professionals coming from the academic and from the market sector also, who we can consult with if any question occurs. On the top of the financial support that comes along with the participation, this supporting environment and these provided resources are also very valuable for the current cooperation, and also this gained knowledge and network of partners is something which can be fruitful for the further projects also. We have weekly meetings with the project team, and we have monthly meetings with the consortium partners, where we can discuss the tasks that are currently under implementation. We can raise and align issues if there are any. At certain times, we have to present our current status for the whole consortium to the General Assembly, where they can get feedback and advice from other participating partners also for our experiment. As the result of the project, the end user will have a more slim and efficient production process. The idle times of the machines will be lower, and the colleagues responsible for the production planning will have a valuable tool for supporting them in their duties, which can also aid the managers to have a look at the current status of the production, we can say, no matter where they are physically. From the software side, from the vendor side, within the project, a standalone product is created, which can be commercialized to other possible middle-sized clients operating in the same sector within Hungary or even across the border in the whole European region. And with the help of the DIH network, we can also implement new projects with new possible partners. Finally, let me encourage SMEs explicitly to apply and participate in these programs, as they provide only benefits, actually multiple benefits for them. With this, we have come to the end of my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Richard. And just let me share one personal comment with regards to this presentation. The SMEs usually use non-digital or very old-fashioned tools to track the production. And at one of the first client or project that Richard just presented, when we showed to the general manager that, okay, now you can track your factory, and even from your mobile phone you can have access to the current data, what will be produced or what is currently delivered, then it was a major surprise, and the end user was very, very happy with it and said that he was not even able to imagine that this will work that efficiently for him. So thank you, Richard, for the introduction. And then I would like to go on to the next success story, Fermi Cloud, which will be delivered by Mateusz Lipinski. Mateusz, the floor is yours.
Great, thank you very much, Gabor. So I'm just sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, can you see the presentation? Is it fine just to double check?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes,
okay.
yes, we can see.
You. Thank you very much. Great. So my name is Mateusz Lipinski. I was a data analyst in SpinSplit in this exciting project, which was Fermi Cloud. And thank you one more time for inviting me here. So unfortunately, I will have to run just after this presentation because I have a flight today. But yeah, but in this time, I just wanna introduce you to our project. So within Cloudifactoring, which Gabor was referring to earlier, and together with Fermentia, so end user in our case, SpinSplit, ISV, and Esitech, we delivered the Fermi Cloud project, which aim was to automate the process of proteins creation in Fermentia, a specific one specific protein creation. And the specific one is Pichia pastoris one. So this is a yeast-based expression host for proteins creation. And why is it exciting? Because it is more effective, and also through it it's possible to express also more complicated proteins. Unfortunately, and of course, the good thing about it, like in general, it is cheaper, but of course, it's not that everything is perfect. So unfortunately, this process is very long. It takes about 1 week, and a lot of human interference is involved. So that's why within Fermi Cloud project, we wanted to minimize this human interaction to 0. So the process consists of 3 stages. So first one takes about 24 hours, and during it, the Pichia pastoris cells are put to the fermenter and they start to grow. The second phase is glycerol fed batch phase, in which the number of cells are multiplying. And then we are going to the last stage, depending on the critical parameter, which is wet cells weight. And if we reach a critical number of it, so it's about 200 grams per liters, then we are starting methanol fed batch phase. And in this phase, we are adding methanol so that our cells, Pichia pastoris cells, from them the proteins are made. However, it's also really hard here because we cannot give too much methanol because we will just kill the cells. We cannot give not enough because the process it's going to be longer. And as you can see, phase 3 already takes 95 hours. So in our as-is solution, so the solution which we met in Fermentia, all of the decisions about the phases switches and about the reagent addition, so glycerol and methanol, were done by humans. So of course, it's prone to the mistakes, and it also takes time, which could be spent by supervisor of the process to do some research. So in details, the as-is solution, the data from the fermenter were saved to the database. So it was really lucky for us because we could use this historical data to build our machine learning model. And then the data was transferred to SCADA system, where we had information from sensors like temperature, pH, dissolved oxygen. And then And then the tricky part starts. So you will see that there's like a lot of human intervention involved. So first of all, the process supervisor has to look at the SCADA screen and, judging from those parameters for phase 1 and phase 2, decide that, okay, we are switching right now. Then if we want to go for WCW, so wet cells weight measurement, then it becomes even more tricky, because then the sampling is involved. So the process supervisor has to go to the fermenter, take the sample, go to laboratory, check the number of wet cells weight. So, and also after that, adjust the process. So it takes time. It takes time of people. In our solution, we did it a little bit in a different way. So first of all, because of SpinSplit, who has also experience in flow chemistry, we supply the flow chemistry instruments, also together with the optical density sensor from Esitec, so our Slovenian partner. So that way we were able to get WCW measurement without going to the lab, just automatically. Also, what was a key for methanol sensor reading, for methanol level reading, we also installed methanol sensor. And what was amazing in this project, and what was given to us by Cloudifactoring, was the cloud infrastructure. So we had really great support from Stacky. We had really great support from Cloudifactoring consortium, and we could make things happen. So within the cloud, we deployed the pattern recognition algorithm. So it was machine learning classification algorithm random forest, which was helping us to distinguish between S1 and S2 phases. Also, what we had there is manufacturing execution system. So if, for example, our pattern recognition algorithm said that, okay, we are switching to phase 2, then manufacturing execution system is telling them, we switch to phase 2, that means that we have to add glycerol. Also, what we had within the project is also Spin Studio, so a software installed on the computer, on a shop floor computer, where we could see the data visualization and also interaction with the user. So you can see that in this whole solution, instead of having multiple human interaction, we just have one, and it's mostly for just checking if the results are fine. Also, like, just to be safe, if there is a switch phase, we also asking user to just confirm that. So the pattern recognition was telling us where are we? So where are we in the process? In which phase of the fermentation we are? Manufacturing execution system was saying like what to do. So for example, add glycerol, and Spin Studio was telling how to do. So for example, triggering applicable pumps. So as for the cloud solution, so we use a variety of solutions. Part of them were given by us by Cloudifactoring. Part of them are simply open source. So we can divide it in like four groups. So firstly, we deployed from digital marketplace. We deployed Flopster workflow with one node, in which we deployed 3 Docker containers with a machine learning algorithm and manufacturing execution system, and also Apache Spark, because what was really important for our project is analyzing this data in real time. So when the data from the sensor comes, we were giving straight away the predictions about the phases. And also the information were sent to Spin Studio for visualization. So that was a lot of me talking about the concept. Here's like just a gasp of how did it look like during our experimentation. So as for the hardware, you can see the fermenter here, 10 little fermenter. You can see flow chemistry system. You can believe me that there is also like on the table, there is optical density sensor for getting WCW value. And also you can see the front panel of our Spin Studio software. So yeah, so like it's easy to see for the user in which phase of fermentation the process is right now. It's also gathering all of the sensor data. So both the SCADA data, which were already available in the company, like temperature, pH, which I mentioned before, but also new sensor data. So methanol sensor level and optical density transfer into wet cells weight. And also what we are really happy about is that this experiment was successful, that we didn't do it just to do it, we did it to have a success and have Fermentia happy. So as for S1 and S2 switch, we could, honestly, it was really amazing when the algorithm was giving us, okay, like we are switching right now, and then CEO of Fermentia came to the room and he was like, guys, I guess we should be switching. And I was like, yeah, the algorithm is saying the same. So like it was really amazing to see all of that working. Then as for S2 S3 change, switch change, phase change, we also could see that the readings from optical density sensor are good, because also in an appropriate time the switch between S1 and S2 was performed. And also about S3, so the phase where we are adding methanol, we could see that also the pump was turning on or turning off depending on the methanol sensor, on the methanol level. So all in all, what we could say at the end of this project is that really we helped Fermentia, showed Fermentia that it's possible to minimize time they are spending on this process. So as for the just fermentation process, instead of spending 23 hours as for sampling and spiking and governing the process, for the phases switch, we could do it within 0 hours, because everything was automated and everything was happening in real time. And what we are also really happy about, and also Cloudifactoring was happy about, that we already tested the solution in a real industrial in real industry. So for 3 days we were there in Fermentia and checking how does it work. Also, we were able to switch the phases guided by machine learning algorithm written in PySpark. And also we were able to add reagents depending on the fermentation stages using Spin Studio. So just from me, it was really great experience, and we are really happy to participate in this project, because it was about science, but it was also about network and being closer with other companies from also other countries. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mateusz. And I think that the important point was in your presentation that I think it's very typical where you work with SMEs and you imagine a solution for them, and then the CEO will really say, wow, this is working, when it is really there and really working.
Yeah, that's true. Like until this moment, like, you know, it's more hesitant, but then like when it works, it works.
Then, when it works, then the CEO really start to see the benefits.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you. And we need to move on, and I would like to give the floor to our partner for organizing this event, the co-host or the key host, the University of Technology. Ferenc will talk about their DIH operation.
Okay, can you see and hear me well?
Yes.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, then as we are a little bit behind the schedule, I will try to short where I can. So welcome everyone. I'm representing here EET DIH, which is the Digital Innovation Hub of Budapest University of Technology and Economics. My name is Ferenc Ender. Okay, at first, where are we? Our DIH is operating within the Department of Electron Devices of BME. So located in the BME campus area, we are really surrounded by other DIHs with, I could say, complementary competencies, such as EIT, Digital, Industry 4.0 National Platform. And you can see also a little bit towards the north, also Innomine DIH. Our DIH has been consortium members in a number of digital innovation-oriented EU projects. Initially, our activity as a DIH based on those EU initiatives and EU projects. In the past years, we completed 10 innovation projects with SMEs, from 8 different European countries, as you can see on the screen. Currently, there are 3 more SME projects are ongoing, and those are also with international partners. Over the years, more than 1 million euros cascade funding was transferred towards European SMEs only through our DIH, which is impressive. And we managed to build up an international network of roughly 200 SMEs throughout this time. And also, in the past years, we managed to launch 3 spin-off companies in the framework of our DIH and the university department activities. So one of them, SpinSplit, is the one which was represented by Mateusz and in the Fermi Cloud project. So let's talk a little bit our background as a DIH. If we have a look on the already finished digital innovation projects of different EU funds, one may see that BME and our faculty had a role in the major projects, such as EuroCPS, FED4SEA, or Tetramax. And finally, there are 2 ongoing projects, DigiFed and Smart for Europe 2, the one which is responsible for this event. In DigiFed, we are also DIH and competence center. Core services of our DIH follow the traditional pillars: test before invest, innovation ecosystem, skills and training. I will go into the details, but just some sectors we were involved in with actual projects ranging from smart cities through smart agriculture and Industry 4.0, just to say a few examples. As for support to find investment core service, we took the advantage of the already existing cooperation with DIHs in the region and with other organizations of the university, for instance, the Industrial Cooperation Center of BME called BME FIEC. Out of the many aspects of the digital product design, our DIH rather focuses on those areas which are less represented by the surrounding DIHs, which are ranging from prototyping, reliability testing, and other design aspects, what I will show in details in the next few slides. So one of them, thermal design, which is a traditional flagship activity of our department, and therefore it is a straightforward to be as a service of the Digital Innovation Hub also. In emerging fields such as electromobility or high-performance computing, thermal design has of utmost importance. Our DIH offers services for companies from design support to various characterization activities in the field of thermal design. Then just quickly, conceptual design is another activity worth to mention. This activity aims to support companies who want to design new products based on novel digital technologies, but kind of lost of finding the right and the appropriate solutions for the given task. Within this activity, we lead them through the design chain from the specification to the actual component selection. Then another field, digital twins or building up of digital twins. Digital twin is a digital representation of a physical asset, and as such, those are essential elements of Industry 4.0 based manufacturing systems, as well as novel digital products. So based on our decade-long experience in electronic system modeling and our participation in major EU grants, dealing with the development of digital twins, for instance, for LED-based luminaires. We offer the digital twin building service for companies, and probably the last one is services for prototyping. As I'm running out of time, I don't want to go into the details. So it is prototyping service for small scale series for SMEs. And the last one is also a test before invest service. This is based on the access to our reliability testing facility, which is capable of the in-situ assessment of prototypes and other products under harsh environment, such as thermal fluctuation or high humidity. So this is what we are offering to SMEs and mid-caps. Here you can find us, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for this introduction, and I would like to pass the word to János, also from the university, and to conclude our session with another success story on the field of smart cities.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me well?
Yes, perfect, very well.
And the slides now should be seen, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So my name is János Hegedűs. I'm from BME, and I will try to keep it short. I would like to talk about a success story about a smart luminaire that was produced with the help of BME by Hungarian Approach Ltd, a Hungarian luminaire designing company. So what is the motivation behind SSL applications? Overall, the citizens should enjoy a better visual comfort, so it should be much better for their eyes. And the other side of the motivation is that the price should be lower, both in the means of energy consumption and financials as well. So for cheaper, the citizens will get better lighting. In a bit more details, it means, first of all, enhanced reliability. So it's very, very important that if we have a luminaire at the street, then at the night there should be no accidents because of a wrong or failed luminaire. So it can be created by online monitoring and by predictive maintenance, and these are well enhanced. Another point is that the necessary illumination level should be provided. That means that under illumination on roads is very risky, and over illumination in residential areas is not that comfortable. For example, when the residential citizens would like to get asleep, then it's much harder when a too strong luminaire is at the street. And another point that adaptive dimming is a possible solution for smart SSL applications. For example, if the street is empty at the night, then the light output can be reduced to, for example, 30% of the total luminous flux output of the luminaire. Some words about the forcing functionalities. First of all, the smart luminaires can be a lot of new sensors can be put onto the luminaires. That way we can sense the motion or the traffic itself, or a lot of weather sensors can be mounted onto the luminaires. That way the temperature, humidity, the wind speed, etc. These measures can be detected. If once we have the data, then we should transfer it to process it centrally, for example, but it can be processed at the luminaire level itself as well. That way, we need universal communication interfaces at the luminaire. If once we have a digital control of the unit, then pulse width modulation is not a problem anymore. So pulse width modulation can help to control the lighting at an adaptive level, and that helpful when the illumination level should be set according to demand. So, for example, if the traffic is very low, or if there is no car at the roads at 20 kilometers long, then the light output can be reduced. What is very important is that these luminaires can be generated with self-diagnostics, which means that if there is any failure, or if there is the possibility of a future failure, for example, if the forward voltage starts to increase significantly, or when the temperature is elevated significantly, then it can transfer the data to the central system that maintenance should be performed on the luminaire, and it can be done before it would have any failure mode. By complex dimming, we can also take into consideration the environmental impact. That way, we need to characterize the LEDs and the system of the luminaire. That's some part of the digital twin of the luminaire itself. And now I would like to talk about the luminaire that was designed during this cooperation. The base luminaire was designed in a previous project by Hungarian Approach Ltd. So it's a Hungarian development. And they also had a new anti-reflective coating technology, which increased the light output of the luminaire without increasing the power consumption of it. With the help of BME, an IoT platform-based communication interface was designed, and for that, a Linux-based system was applied on an Intel Edison platform. And the good thing is that extremely small size and power consumption was paired with this solution. And what is a unique selling point from the side of BME, that by the help of multi-domain system-level simulations, the temperature compensated constant light output operation mode of the luminaire could be achieved. And just a few sentences about it. Just shortly, if the temperature increases, then the light output of the luminaire decreases, or just the opposite. If the temperature is lower, so in winter, we can see an increased light output of the luminaire, and that means that there is a power savings potential. So in cold weather conditions, the forward current can be reduced while the luminous flux output of the luminaire is kept at a constant level. For that, we have characterized the LEDs, we performed the system level simulation of the luminaire, and also we have implemented it, and we tested the new solution in laboratory environment. Finally, the luminaire was created, and the test installation in Vértes was created, and the expected energy savings potential was 4 to up to 8%. That means that for the city of Budapest, it means a savings up to €500,000 per year. And also, the Hungarolux Smart Light online luminaire monitoring system was set up, by the help of which they could monitor the state of the luminaires. Also, they had the GPS data of the luminaires, and also if any failure has happened, then it is monitored by the new system. And the luminaire was carried around the world. I mean, at many international conferences we have presented it, and just the most important ones was the midterm meeting of the CEA in South Korea, and the other one was the European Innovation Hub Day at Grenoble. And now I have finished my presentation, and thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, János. I think the €500,000 yearly potential saving is a key benefit of this experiment and of this success story. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. As we are a bit behind the schedule, I would like to ask the audience if there are any questions. If there is any, I just would like to do it very quickly. If there are no questions except for the ones that were discussed in the chat, then I would like to thank to all of you for the participation. Thanks for the presenters for delivering these very interesting and very meaningful presentations. And I think that we could have now still a few minutes break before we start with the third session. And I really look forward to learn about the other DIHs from the surrounding countries.
Okay, thank you very much, Gabor. So yes, initially we were behind schedule, but now we are good. So let's start when it was planned. I'm just sharing my screen. So our next session starts at 12:20. Okay, so 5-6 minutes time we have for sure. Take a little break and we will start again soon. Okay, I believe it is time to continue the event today. With the third session, which is innovation support for, no, sorry, that could be a typo. So the third session is the introduction of the DIHs from the Central and Eastern European region. We have in total 5 DIHs to present themselves. One from Romania, one from Slovenia, and happened to be 3-1 from Croatia. So I would like to ask Bianca Muntean from DIH Transylvania to turn on your camera and share your screen. And Bianca, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for inviting me to your session. It was really a rich event until now. So I hope that also in this part of the event, you will have the chance to learn about also the other DIHs and how they are running their activity. I'm really curious also to learn from other colleagues. So Transylvania Digital Innovation Hub is located in Romania, in Cluj-Napoca, in the northwestern part of Romania. We are covering 6 counties bordering Hungary in northwest. And we started to build our digital innovation hub based on the existing ecosystem already built in the region. And we decided to use the experiences gained by the regional clusters, working also in other activities in the region. So we, as an IT cluster, Transylvania IT cluster, and as an orchestrator, we proposed to join forces and together with the clusters from the energy field, the furniture production, new materials, agricultural field, creative industries, and also inviting the biggest universities having technological expertise in our region, Technical University and Babes-Bolyai University, but also the local public administration providing us access to different type of infrastructures. We put together our digital innovation hub with the aim to support the acceleration of the digital transformation of small and medium-sized enterprises from northwestern region in Romania and also of the local public administration. And our vision is to support the transformation of industries and also to offer access to expertise, technical expertise and digital innovation coming out either from our startups or SMEs or from the research facilities in our region. In terms of technologies, we are covering artificial intelligence, big data, high performance computing, cybersecurity, and robotics. So when deciding in the sectors we will address within the activity of our digital innovation hubs, of course, we do address all the pillars which compose the activity in our DIH, and we address the industrial sectors, Industry 4.0, public administration, healthcare, agriculture, and energy field. We've passed the national selection in Romania for being able to compete at the European level in the call under the Europe Digital. And currently we join forces with our colleagues from the DIHs from the other development regions in Romania in order to create a national framework for the support and development of digital innovation hubs in Romania, which is coordinated by the Authority for the Digitalization of Romania and also the Ministry for Digitalization. I choose to have rather a general presentation of our activities. Of course, we are currently running several projects, like I saw the previous speakers already presented, financed under the Horizon 2020 program. We are implementing in the region 2 such projects, DIH Square, dealing with robotics, adoption of automation in production in industries. And also we are partners in BOE project, in which we are supporting innovation experiments in our region and also offering technological expertise and entrepreneurial mentorship to the selected companies working in their innovation projects. We are using these experiences from the European projects in order to scale it up under the umbrella of Transylvania Digital Innovation Hub. And together with our partners and working as ecosystem, we hope to succeed also in the European phase. We work very much trying to address the regional needs in terms of digitalization, but also very much anchored in the European landscape. And such as we are very open and interested to collaborate with DIHs all over Europe. Actually, we managed to put in the paper released by DG GROW European Commission a separate chapter addressed to the digital innovation hubs and how could this digital innovation hub use the existing expertise in their region created by the clusters in the past 10, 15, 20 years. So thank you very much. I will remain with you for the rest of the event. And if you have any question, I will be more than happy to answer to it.
Thank you very much, Bianca. It was good to see how broad is your range of services, what you are offering in just in the neighborhood. I would suggest for the audience to, if you have questions, please write in the chat window. Probably we will follow the schedule, so there will be a small question and answers session at the end, some sort of panel discussion. Thank you, Bianca, again. And I want to ask Jure Tirar from 4P DIH, Slovenia. Jure,
hello.
Yes,
can you hear me?
Okay, very
you
good.
can hear me and probably see my screen. Is that correct?
Everything is correct. So please go ahead.
Okay, thanks to our hosts and hello to our dear neighbors. I'm Jure Trilar. I'm a representative of 4P DIH that resides on faculty of electrical engineering with University of Ljubljana in Slovenia. As the cryptic name 4P DIH, Public-Private People Partnership DIH suggests, of course, we do actively support startup mid-caps and SMEs and their market-driven endeavors, yet we strive to exploit the potential of other sectors that are relatively untouched by digitalization, and thus leaving 4P DIH with more visibility and related to this differentiation in regards to perhaps other DIHs in the region or in Slovenia. 4P DIH aims to provide technical knowledge and expertise, experimentation facilities in order to successfully strengthen the local economy, with innovative digital technologies in the industry, public administration, and of course also in the communities. Our DIH sustainability is based on contribution of ICT to the future of sustainable development by using these principles of, let's say, if we ask ourselves, who is this digitalization for? I mean, it has to be some sort of people-centered development, community-based development approaches, and more balanced, holistic, let's say, co-creation of urban and rural areas, and of course by combining all the modern analytical insights of solution-oriented approaches of technical sciences. Our partnerships consists of course, us, University of Ljubljana, Faculty of Electrical Engineering, as the coordinator of this DIH, and also other organizations, for example, municipality support organizations that have a real good network of, let's say, municipality and local administration throughout Slovenia. Also other academic institutions, and not to forget innovation and business support environment, that agencies and incubators and so on, and also some private entities. Those are one of the largest innovation-driven companies in the area. Yes, 4PDIH was chosen as a national representative for the DIH application process. Well, our strong set of core values supports activities and has supported before and during the COVID-19 crisis, and for us it means, let's say, it consists of principles of sharing, communication, reciprocity, knowledge, trust, and mitigation of these potential risks, problems, and of course tackling all the challenges that lie ahead of us. We integrate funding from various sources, schemes, and programs to support this common vision and objectives for 4PDIH, whether it's from, let's say, Interreg Europe programs, other European structural funds, Horizon 2020, and of course also private funds. We're involved in all sorts of projects, but I won't list them all and explain what are they about. We should move on to the, let's say, more or less the question, why are we all here? And of course, what is our core tenet of 4PDIH? Well, it's digitalization, of course, and how we experience this digital world determines what kind of future we can, of course, imagine. And the degree of digitalization and its consequences are often difficult to understand because sometimes people, of course, I'm talking about the communities, don't have their direct experience with this subject. And a key feature of the development in today's world is, of course, the rapid growth of this cyber world, and of course, supported by rapid growth and constant internet connectivity, combined with all sorts of new technologies, AI, big data, and so on. Participating in increasingly digitized world, of course, requires new knowledge. And just a quick cross-section, we live in a very connected world, and most of the users are, of course, young people, and 5 billion people will connect to the internet in the next 20 years for the first time. In the future, of course, 90% of EU jobs will require advanced digital skills, while 42% of the EU population lacks these basic digital skills. Also, there is a sort of gender gap in ICT professions, as only about 20% of ICT professionals are women. And nonetheless, then our digital well-being is threatened by challenges to the privacy, security, and veracity of the information. With this in mind, we know that digitalization is not evenly distributed. The benefits, especially economic, cannot be reaped by everyone equally, and in the end, to provide, let's say, greater social cohesion, and structural reasons can be overcome by a general increase in digital competences. So it makes sense to invest in this direction. The ecosystem logics implies that the digitalization affects all aspects of life, from health to commerce, from social context to, of course, the way we work. And for successful transition to a digital society, the participation of all actors in the ecosystem is required. It's not just about the project in the individual areas, or let's say just the industry or business sector. And of course, forming measures on policy levels needs to be adjusted to digital and data-driven world together with the conscious citizens. There are unforeseen challenges, but still, with AI algorithmization of public services, data credibility and data verification, smart cities and surveillance technology, digital literacy and media literacy subjects, the users' rights remain highly important, and we should encourage this innovation and economic development. So in the fast growing cyber-based world, there has become an awareness of the importance of the production and the knowledge transfer. And from a labor market economy point of view, there is skills gap, as more and more jobs require a high level of both specialized digital skills and general technology skills. We often refer to those as, let's say, qualitative problems. And from the social point of view, one of the challenges is inclusion, the digital divide between those with only basic skills or no skills at all, and those with higher levels of skills could widen existing gaps in society and further exclude a certain part of the population. And the competitive advantage of any economy would be inclusion of all the people that it can reach. We refer to this as quantitative problems of digitalization. Here at 4P DIH, we have our own capacities in terms of advanced digital skills training through so-called ICT Academy program that focuses on big data, artificial intelligence, networking technologies, telecommunication networks, blockchain, sensors, and so on. We also provide tailor-made trainings for public sector that focuses on specific policy instruments implementations. And we partner with Google to provide essential skill set training through Coursera. We believe in the ICT development for an inclusive digital society, and were recognized because of this at this year's World Summit on Information Society conference, and we listed as one of the champions of applied projects. We see that the potential in the public education research institutions to adapt to the market needs is also going to help the digitalization efforts in this area, and to encourage mobility and sustainability through digitalization. We have many activities directed towards the before mentioned sectors, and in the next slide, I will present a fraction of some of the good practices that we implement. So, to begin with, Phablet Network, Slovenia is sort of test before invest environment that enables not just SMEs, but also individuals or schools or even public administration to test some equipment before deciding to purchase or to even collaborate to produce some parts of their, let's say, product in this in their process. Our endeavors on public administration digitalization are very important, and through this we constantly collect the needs of the municipalities, and in order to prepare the future policies and instruments of the Slovenian ministries and government. Well, in the skills and training section, our main service or product is the ICT Academy, offering very much of every kind of advanced digital skills trainings with certificates, and it's known for its customer satisfaction and also this strategic importance to participants who are mainly large enterprises or mid-size firms. Of course, we also, well, when talking so much about this digitalization and digital competences, it's important to start early, and we all constantly probe for this research and policy-driven activities about the status of the competences in schools, because the next generations are going to define how this technology will be used and what technology will be used. So just a quick conclusion. Of course, digitalization is much more than being just a technological driven process. It's also about social, political, and cultural ramifications, not to mention it's mostly market driven process, but it needs to be extended to other sectors. Well, digital competences are becoming integral for also democratic skills and tackling global democratic and as well as the economic deficits that future world might entail. So for me, this is it. We are happy to explain further, and this is my contact, and perhaps you can check out our website to see what sectors are recovering, but according to schedule, this will be enough. So back to you, Ferenc. Thank you.
Thank you, Jure, for the presentation. There was really like a lot of information. What we heard, I can admit that your DIH is one of the references I'm always using, because you are also sitting in the academia, and the core of the DIH is with many strings attached to the university, and so this is something what we are also doing. So now let's move on. Thank you again for the presentation. Let's move on to the first DIH from Croatia, DIH Terra. So I wanted to ask Ivan Stefanic to...
Hi, Ferenc. Tell me, do you see me and hear properly?
I can see and hear you.
Okay, let me share the presentation. Oh, I have weird message, Google Chrome not responding. I hope we're going to fix that in no time.
Okay. Just for the sake of safety, I'm asking Tomislav Plešec from DIH Pismo if you are here.
Hello, yes, I'm here. Just a second to adjust my camera.
Then Ivan, what if we change the sequence?
Nothing is going on. I'm gonna close the window and restart it. If you could move to the next speaker, that would be simply great.
Okay, then let's do that.
Thank you.
So, next presenter is Tomislav Plešec from DIH Pismo, also from Croatia. So Tomislav, please turn on your mic. Share your screen.
Thank you, Ferenc. Just a second. I will share my screen.
Sorry for drop you in the middle.
Oh, no problem. Can you hear
your screen? Okay, everything is perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. For starters, I want to introduce myself. My name is Tomislav, and I come from Simora Development Agency. We are from Central Croatia, from Sisak, Moslavina County. And today I'm going to tell you a couple of words about our initiative, which concerns gaming, and about our digital innovation hub, Pismo. So for the beginning, a couple of words about my institution. We are a regional development agency from Sisak, Moslavina County, founded in 2006. And our main activities include preparation and implementation of various EU projects. And we also work a lot with the entrepreneurs. We draft them business plans and offer some services such as mentoring, consultancy, and etc. Currently, we have a little less than 50 people employed. But the most important fact for this event today is that in 2016, we launched a major initiative jointly with the county administration, and this initiative is called Sisak Moslavina County, a Center of Gaming Industry. which aims to make a shift from heavy industries, which were dominant in the economy of our region, towards gaming and IT. The thing is that heavy industries mainly collapsed in last years, so something had to be done, and we chose gaming to focus on this industry and to strengthen the capacities of SMEs in this area. This initiative has 6 steps. I will go quickly through them. First step includes free English courses in kindergartens. Then we also have workshops for creation of video games. Some of them are implemented in primary and secondary schools in Sisak-Moslava County. And we also offer 6-month educations for unemployed people. I will say a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes. We also foster launching startups through business incubator PISMO, which is our center of this initiative. Also, we introduced a new 4-year curriculum for development of video games in high schools. It is called Video Game Technician. Also, there are some supports, financial supports for startups in the field of video games. And the 6th step is still in development. It's called Gaming Center, where we are working on project documentation, and we are expecting very soon to start construction of a gaming campus, which will have a faculty, an esport arena, an incubator, accelerator, and many other facilities. So a little more about these steps. I said before that we have English courses in kindergartens. They are used for strengthening of a language basis as a primary tool. Also, in primary and secondary schools, there were some workshops for kids and teenagers, and they were specially tailored for them. Basically, they aim to provide an insight on how to join PISMO, Incubator, and DIH one day. And up to date, there were more than 200 pupils who passed through these courses. Also, I said before that we have a video game technician as a new high school curriculum. It was introduced in 2 schools in Sisak-Moslavina County, in Technical School Sisak and High School Novska, and there was a huge interest among pupils. I think that there was like 10 kids competing for one spot in the class. And we also, in this curriculum, we put an emphasis on technical elements, so on the creation of video games themselves, but there is also an emphasis on entrepreneurial elements, so that one day they can become entrepreneurs in this area. So what is actually the main scope of this business incubator and digital innovations hub PISMO? As I said, it is a part of our initiative, so it was also founded in 2016. It is located in town Novska in Sisak-Moslavina County. Currently, there are 46 startups in the incubation process, and to them we offer our space in the form of offices, co-working area, conference rooms. Also, there is an equipment procured, which they can rent, equipment such as computers, music and video studio. There is also virtual reality equipment, which is used for simulations of newly developed games. There is also a motion capture studio, photogrammetry, 3D printer, etc. PISMO is a member of Croatian Game Developers Association, so we partner with the stakeholders from this industry, and we also organize a lot of networking events, and they provide us some services of mentoring, so it is much easier for our clients to, when we have this partnership, to use our services. And basically I can say that the core business of PISMO as a digital innovation hub is a smart skills build-up, which actually is enhancement of existing and creation of new labor force for the smart specialization. Also, as this was our traditional industry, metal processing sector is also a part of this place, the digital innovation hub. A couple of photos from Pismo. So you can see we have educations here and photos of the equipment, photogrammetry studio, music studio, and virtual reality. To talk about services in our incubator, educations are mostly the first step for the people who enter this industry for the first time. And the aim of our education is to help individuals and existing companies to acquire necessary skills set to withstand the challenges of a digital era. These educations are dedicated for all the people who are above 18 years old, and they last for 6 months. Of course, they are totally free of charge, and they are implemented in 2 groups that are parallel, and each group has 20 people. One group learns about graphics in the tool called Blender, and the other one is learning about programming in Unity. Currently, there is a 5th group attending, and so far there have been 160 attendees who have passed through these educations. And also worth mentioning is that all people who attend these educations, they receive Croatian minimum wage and travel expenses during the time of the educations. This is something which we achieved in partnership with Croatian Employment Service. Also, I can say that we have a huge interest for these educations, and people arrive from entire Croatia and move to Novska. As a result, 46 startups emerged from these educations. They are mostly in a gaming industry, so what they do is that they create video games, many applications about in the field of augmented reality. A lot of them have already been launched, and there are also some virtual reality games in development. A couple of photos of these educations. These are our educators, and they are showing something to the students. Here you can see by the door which leads to the incubator, we have the nameplates of some of the startups. Eventually we had to add another board for the more plates because this was too small. After the education, a lot of our clients go to the incubation phase. As I said, there is 46 startups. This is a fairly standard process, like in many other incubators. We have rent of offices and favorable access to the equipment, and the entire process can last up to 5 years. Also, as I said before, while startups are in the incubation phase, they receive financial supports. They are provided to all startups in the Pismo in the field of gaming. It was achieved in partnership with Sassen County, Town Novska, and Croatian Employment Service. So every startup can receive up to 20,000 euros, which is enough for most of them for first couple of years. Also, as a service, mentorship is offered, where we are mentoring startups in the incubator. Educators from Unity and Blender educations, which I earlier mentioned, they offer direct help regarding game development process. Also, mentorship is achieved through cooperation with partners institutions, and basically it follows clients' first steps towards digitalization or developing their own ideas, and it helps them to go throughout this entire process. Also, we try to enhance their business skills, so we also regularly organize various educations in the field of entrepreneurship, and we help them with writing of project applications. Basically, we're trying to find solution for financing of the ideas. Some other services which are included, marketing services, not only on our social media, we also organize presentations of games in development on Reboot Infogamer fair in Zagreb and in Dubrovnik. Also, a lot of B2B meetings are organized, which include networking with established gaming companies. And also there are various events organized, such as Global Game Jam and Local Game Jam, as a competition of teams in game development. So here are some photos from the last Global Game Jam. It was organized in the sports hall in Novska, Unfortunately, this year it was cancelled due to coronavirus, but hopefully next year it will also be organized. And just for the end, couple of words about PISMO as IDIH. We are nominated by Croatian government in the pre-selection process for the application to the upcoming European call for proposals. In the initial phase, we partnered with Croatian Institute of Physics, Faculty of Organization and Informatics, and PAR University College from Rijeka, and also from Hašnet from Slovenia. And we are focused on the fields of blockchain, gaming, and artificial intelligence, but we are also looking to widen our partnership as the call for proposal is coming to the opening phase. And that would be it from me. I hope I gave you a good picture of what we do in our Digital Innovation Hub. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Tomislav. I think it's a wonderful focus to educate entertainment and not only manufacturing and all this very serious stuff. And it's wonderful that you are targeting children because it is never so you need to start it soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Ivan, are you ready now?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
Teams is reloaded. Let me share my screen with you. Okay.
I can see your editor mode.
Okay, I'm clicking on presentation mode. Is it now okay?
No.
And now?
Still not.
I see presentation mode should be. Yes?
But we can see.
You can see. Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
Oh, yes. Thank you. So Digital Innovation Hub Terra is established in 2020, but please do not be fooled with that because coordinator of this consortium is Terra Technopolis LLC, established in 2002. Do you see the second slide now?
Honestly, I don't see. I see your PowerPoint.
It's the butterfly.
You have not shared the screen what you where you present, but it's the presenter mode screen what you share.
Sorry for that. I cannot.
You can share the full screen, then you see it.
Okay.
So at first put it in full screen. So start your presentation and then you share it.
Okay. Then I will stop sharing. I will
start the presentation.
Presentation mode. I would start sharing. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay, so Terra, as a company established in 2002, as a consortium in 2020, with a straightforward mission. It is one-stop shop for innovative entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial scientists. Since we are a limited liability company, our corporate mentality is really corporate, meaning although we are a member of the university, we do not exercise technology push. We are definitely on marketing pool and more advanced commercialization models to serve our clients. For that purpose, we develop fairly comprehensive portfolio of services. So we have respectable incubation, about 140 companies incubated so far with more than 300 employees, some great success stories. And we have one great finding. The more services our clients are using, they grow faster, they grow better, and develop their businesses. I said corporate mentality. That means we offer complete, customized, and fast solutions. And we have saying if we cannot execute it in 3 days, then it's probably not relevant anymore. So much about efficiency. So Terra was already very competent entrepreneurial support institution, but we went even further. We administrated a lot of strategic initiatives of European Union, and we've done that greatly. But there is one important element. We are working off capital, and total entrepreneurial activity in our region is lower than average. So we were forced to create our own program to amend existing ones. So Be the Role Model is our signature program. It's an invention show and business plan competition. We have even our own proprietary business plan application. We have counseling services, well organized. We are a member of the Croatian National Association of Entrepreneurial Support Institutions. And all that together with Terra e-incubation program create, which is core of Digital Innovation Hub Terra. And we didn't stop that. We started preparing the Terra in 2018, but ever since we are adding additional components and partners. So the rationale for that was to reinforce ourselves as an institution to provide services to digitalize agriculture and food. So in our consortium, we have 4 regional development coordinators at the county level. We have 2 universities, and list of departments and faculties is given on the map with some serious competences in digitalizing business in various aspects. And this is actually Digital Innovation Hub Terra. Having such a great and competent consortium offered us opportunity to provide all TRL level services. And but we are still focused on agriculture and food industry, in particular using artificial intelligence and cognitive systems. But since we are market driven, we would accept other assignments as well. Services provided, it's a standard from awareness creation to custom-made solutions for particular project or clients. And so much about our mission and our services. Let's see how it's done in the practice. This is 2018 Zagreb finale of Demo Day Croatia 2018. It is organized with help of Aid Food, and it was a great event. And we were just starting. Next year we had even bigger event. More clients, more sophisticated projects. Everything was running smoothly, and then we got pandemic. Fortunately, we were a hub designed to digitalize business, so we digitalized our business as well, and that works well. But although we have headquarters in Croatia, 300 kilometers from Zagreb and 300 kilometers from Budapest, we are trying to cover the whole national territory with live and online events. And this is one of our strengths. So entrepreneurial scientists and innovative entrepreneurs are major target group, but we deliver a lot of services to students, and we strongly support student entrepreneurship. We also seek synergies among projects we administrate, and that's possible. Some great stories we develop with synergizing totally different but still compatible projects. We also educate our staff, our partners, all beneficiaries continuously with our sponsors. So we do Government Executive Academy, and we do that with all of our hearts. We are using out-of-box promotion, especially on social networks, and students simply love it. We have our own programs. We execute boot camps as well. And if you guess, yes, our core business is improving the business side in-house and using digital solutions, technology with outside partners. It is not nice to say how good we are. We let our clients to tell that, and they are happy. They are really happy. We are running out of time, so I have to go faster. Sorry for that. Our beneficiaries are now our ambassadors, and I would say this is a part of networking. We are fine with online events, but we also love live events, and we hope to get back to those live events as soon as possible. And since this is getting to know a networking event, it's totally okay to say what we could offer. We could offer state-of-the-art counseling services for knowledge-based entrepreneurs. We could develop and deliver custom-made entrepreneurial education programs. And our strong hat is definitely IP management, protection, and prosecuting. And so much from our side. The rest is, I guess, questions.
Okay, thank you very much. It is really nice to see how various are the different digital innovation hubs, what we see today. And now I would like to pass to Gordana Nikolic.
Yeah.
Representative
Hello,
of
nice to
Croatia.
Yeah. Hello, nice to meet you and to see you from Croatia, but this time from Adriatic part of Croatia, so from the seaside of Croatia. Let me just try to. You cannot see my presentation, can you? No.
No.
Let me.
I can see your editor mode.
Okay. Now?
No. What if you start your presentation at first, then share your screen secondly?
But my presentation is open, so already. Okay, let me see.
At first, you need to. That's okay. That's okay. Now it's good.
Now it's okay.
Yes. Please go on.
Hello, one more time from Adriatic Sea. I'm presenting here Par University College and our digital innovation hub called DigiPark. We established our digital innovation hub a few years ago, actually 3 years ago, on one project which was a focus actually on the project called Smart Factories. We applied with our idea, and we also tried to involve in that project many others, different institutions from our region. Our focus was actually an idea to become a center of digital transformation for traditional industry in this region, in the North Adriatic region. So mostly we were focused on this Adriatic Notes 2 region, mostly on 3 counties where we live, but also with ideas to cover all North Adriatic, including part of Slovenia and part of Italy. The idea was to give services to try to help traditional industry to make this digital transformation and to give them somehow one-stop shop where they can come, talk, ask for the help, and meet some of the startups and small entrepreneurs who are focusing in IoT or in IT industry. The idea was to provide the services mostly in a sector of tourism, transport, woods industry, and waste industry, because in our strategy here in North Adriatic County, there are mostly traditional industry in that sector, and we also quite interested as a region because we have a, let's say, a blue and green part of our county. So we try to give some possibilities for both part of counties, because development of those counties is not the same in all area. So as I said, our vision is to become a regional center for digital transformation. So far we are recognized as a university college, which is the only private and independent university college in our region, mostly focused on entrepreneurial skills. We have our student incubator for last 10 years. We are also representing European Commission for Startup Europe Awards for our country, and we are involved in many other events that support somehow startups and entrepreneurs who are the beginnings. In our study program, from the first year, our students are highly focusing on some project, case study, and on the close cooperation with partners, actually with companies that they are partners of schools. Also, our mission, also from this Digital Innovation Hub, it's mostly the same as in our incubator, but just mostly focusing for this digital transformation with some kind of mentorship, coaching, and education that we are offering for our students, but also for local community, for employees, for the people from the market, from the students, for students from different universities as well. In that project, when we applied with our project, with our Digital Innovation Hub, with the DigiPark, we, as I said, we involved different partners, two higher education institutions. Beside we also involved States University of Rijeka. We involved two local community, our city and our county, 3 incubators, R&D Center of University of Rijeka, 5 SMEs, the companies that they are partners for our students from practical part of our curriculum. 3 big companies, one from the States company from transport sector, one hotel industry, and one big company from wood industry. Then our Center of Competence, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, 1 cluster, 5 users that we already had in our incubator, and 3 startups. So I think that the reason why we were elected between 137, I think, application, we were the one of 3 from Croatia who were elected. I think mostly was the reason that we focus on this region, because those 2 projects, they were from central and from north of Croatia, and because we proved that we can make our Digital Innovation Hub even more international, covering with partners from, as I mentioned, from Adriatic part of Slovenia and Adriatic part from Italy. And they have also the same focus, the focus on the same industry mostly as we have here in Croatia. About technology, we are mostly focused on those areas that I mentioned here: advanced manufacturing technology, cloud computing, data mine, big data, database management, ICT management in logistic and business sector, Internet of Things, Internet of Service, smart city solution, and so on. So far we had different activities. one of the biggest leadership conference that we are organizing since 2012. Last few years we focused mostly on digital transformation. We also regularly has a entrepreneurial camp during the summer season and in the week in November in the Global Entrepreneurial Week. We also we are also part of one of the oldest summer school association focused on Internet of Things, and trying every year to change or to put some new skills in our regular curriculum in our study programs, either in bachelor or in master program. So in the last call, we also was selected with our colleague from Pismo and from Novska in this program of European Digital Innovation Hubs, trying to be involved as much as possible in some of the projects and either Erasmus or Horizons. At the moment, we are applying to this call of Norwegian government AI. With two projects, somehow trying to not also involve our professor and our community, but also from the first beginning our students, because we think that the future is in the future is how to learn by doing, how to get more skills during the study program, not just focusing in theoretical things, but also in practical things. And that's it. I was short because I was thinking 7-8 minutes, and I'm the last one, so I didn't want to be boring.
Thank you very much. It was really interesting, and I'm really happy to see all the activities around us regarding digital innovation hubs. As closing remarks, and still, if so, the original program is still 1:30, so we have still a few minutes to discuss a little bit what we heard so far. So I believe DIHs already have some sort of history. So the DIH concept is not really new. So maybe 5-6 years ago, we heard for the first time that some competence centers in Europe should turn into something which is called Digital Innovation Hub, but nobody knew exactly what would be the purpose of Digital Innovation Hub, except that the aim is to make SMEs and mid-caps maybe more digitally mature. So our goal is the digital transformation of those actors. And my really short question is, and I would expect like 1-2 sentence answer from all of the DIHs, including Gabor, if you want to answer, that how do you see the recipient side of the activity, the SMEs? So were they changed over the past 4 or 5 years? Are they more willing to join those activities? Are they reaching you and want to be more digital? So what happened in the past few years? And any one of you can start.
Can I start? This is
Yes,
Jure from DIH from Slovenia. Yeah, since you mentioned our dear clients, customers, SMEs, I think, I mean, this is just a subjective observation, but I think there are, let's say, two kinds of SMEs: that the ones that they already know us and that that they are satisfied and want to cooperate with us, and the ones that don't know us yet. But usually the process is, at first they are not very eager to, let's say, to cooperate. They see many challenges. They are not very well informed what are the options. And we usually get to them through, let's say, funding, support finding, and so on. But after that, when this relationship is more mature, they are very eager and always waiting if we have something new for them, and also want to apply. Let's say, for example, we are a part of DigiFed, and some of the companies would like to apply to all kinds of, let's say, funding mechanisms, just because they know that we won't let them down, that we will support them, and so on. But in the beginning, the process is perhaps a bit hard to know each other well. That is my observation. Thank you.
Yes, I have only one comment, that it's dangerous to put like the equation sign between the funding and digitalization. So even if a company wants the funding, it not necessarily means that the company wants to be more digital. Gabor?
I think that was an excellent question and a very important one. Throughout the recent years, we have seen a change how SMEs look at digitization. So while 3-4 years ago we approached the SMEs and asked them about digitization, then usually the CEO said, "Oh yes, I know there is someone who is dealing with IT. You can talk about this with that IT person." By now, most of the SMEs already are aware that digitization is something. And today I do see that they are more eager to learn, okay, but what we can do as a specific SME with the specific activities, and what digitization does mean for us. So from the question that is it needed or not, is it for us or for other companies, now I do see rather that the whole discussion transformed. Okay, yes, I know that we should do something, but what this exactly should be and how we should do that, because that can cost lots of money and lots of energy.
Okay, thank you, Gabor. Others from the Croatian hubs, maybe?
Yeah, well, I can just say in my name or name of our hub that I think first of all we realized that we had some issue with our local government actually after the last call. So unfortunately, our government and Ministry of Economy didn't recognize on the time possibility to help Digital Innovation Hub to be ready for this new program area. But more or less, I think we realized that we have to make by ourselves some partnerships and possibilities and focus how we can be prepared for new calls. So as I mentioned in a chat, we are really open for any new ideas. I think there are lots of possibilities in this future time, especially because the focus of all the projects on the funds is on the green and digital. As I mentioned, we are on the great position to combine green and blue economy and to do great things for future. Especially in this focusing this sustainable development on all the programs that I think in a new period that the European Commission is going to be focused.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, I agree with you, and sometimes I also have the feeling that actually the network of DIH is growing faster than the need for the DIHs, but for sure, when there is a strong network, then the SMEs and mid-caps will find their ways to us, and that will result in a better ecosystem and more digitized companies. Okay, if there are no other comments, I'm just wait a minute. Then
So maybe I would have a comment which is not directly linked, or if you have another question, I'm going to put it after that. So it is a very general remark from my side. I also put it in the chat. So I found this overall day very, very